Hey, what's up, guys? Man, oh man, oh man. I gotta tell you, it is allergy season here, and I'm getting my butt handed to me. My eyes are burning and watering, and my nose is totally clogged up, and I feel miserable. Welcome to the channel this morning, guys, girls, family. So last week I told you that I was anticipating my bullet head poison to arrive, and I would probably be opening that up, and it arrived. Big box here for this. This is their rendition of Venom from this last movie that came out, which I enjoyed. So I got that. And I told you I had Hulkbuster 2 coming. And he showed up actually before the poison did. So I have him as well here. And then the third one came, which I wasn't expecting, which is the AI doll. I think it's Toys Era that made this. I don't remember. It's the Crossbones that was made. So I'm pretty excited about this one. I was only planning on opening up one because if I open them all up, then I ain't got nothing to talk about next week, right? So if you want, we can stay with what I said I was going to do on Monday when I changed the video to say Hulkbuster, or we can go with what I said I was going to do last week, which is the Venom, or we can do anything you guys want, truthfully, in that regards. So let me know what you think. I'm going to shut the door here. Alright, back. So, you know what? I'm just going to go with the Hulkbuster 2, which became my plan when it arrived before the Venom did, and I was thinking the Venom wouldn't make it. It finally showed up yesterday. This, I think, actually showed up on Saturday last week, right after the show. So I was pleasantly surprised about that. This box is huge. I didn't realize the Hulkbuster 2 was this big. But let's go ahead and crack them open. Of course, Big Bad Toy Store always ships this stuff so well. And as you can see, the overseas shippers as well wrap them up pretty well. Which is always nice in comparison to, like, Sideshow, which uses the shipper box that Hot Toys provides, which we as collectors for some reason have decided we needed to keep it. Now, I will say that the shipper box is proof that you would have, for instance, an exclusive item instead of just the standard item, because it would have on the outside of it the exclusive stock number. You know what I mean? Like 902151 instead of 90215. Other than that, you know, and/or shipping the product and keeping the actual box in good condition, there's really no need for the shipper box. But I keep all of mine. You know what? I only have like maybe 2 figures that don't have shipper boxes, and that's because when I bought them secondhand, the people that sent them to me didn't include the shipper box. So this figure got a lot of flack because it's PPS. And I think people are just being overly judgmental of it. So I don't know for fact what it's going to look like when I get out of here. But I'm very familiar with what PPS is. The 35 and 36 are Power Post figures. Actually, the 35 is a Power Post figure. And I made some changes to it, made it a little better. The 36 is not a Power Post figure, even though they're identical except for the arms. So that many more articulations in the arm is what differentiates the difference between a Power Post figure and a Movie Masterpiece series articulated figure. So whatever the articulations is on the Mark 35, look them up and you'll be able to know. And whatever the articulations is on the Mark 36, whatever that is, let's say 30 versus 25, I don't know. But there is obviously your defining line. So someplace between whatever it is for Mark 35, let's say 25, and 30 for the 36, I don't know. That's where your defining line is between Power Pose and Movie Masterpiece series. So anything underneath that number, whichever it is, would be considered a Power Pose. So it doesn't necessarily mean they're a statue. It doesn't mean they're not articulated. It just means it's not as articulated as the Movie Masterpiece series figure. This box has got some heft to it. I don't believe it's as heavy as the original Hulkbuster was. By the way, obviously you guys seen the Quantum suit, which they're calling the team suit. I know you guys did. All of y'all are right on top of things. None of y'all are sleeping. I liked how in the images that they showed of it, we've seen, they're all putting in their hand or whatever, or their fist. You've seen a little rocket hand up there. You've seen the backhand of War Machine. We've seen very clearly Captain America's figure. So even though I'm a little worried that they won't make them all, they're giving the impression that they will. And obviously the reason I'm worried is because it wouldn't be the first time that Hot Toys has shown us something and then never released it. The Mark 28 Jack was shown in with a, I forget which figure it was, I don't remember which figure it was, but it was shown in the background of the release videos of pictures of one of the figures. And that was pushing 3 years ago, 2 years ago. And then of course, all the numerous times like the Iron Legions, and you know the story, the Rhinos, and all of these figures that they would say they were going to give us, which they never did. So I'm just worried that we won't get all of the suit. And you can't necessarily just buy a bunch of Tony Stark suits, because Hulk is a heck of a lot bigger than Tony Stark, and Rocket is a heck of a lot smaller than Tony Stark, and Nebula and Black Widow are obviously not shaped the same way Tony Stark is. So this gives you an example of how long it takes for these companies to get me something. Other people, they're buying them from Hong Kong, I imagine, or God knows where, and are getting them much quicker. And it just kind of irks me a bit. You know what I mean? Paying the same price as they are. Why does it take me so long to get it? I can barely smell it. I'm totally congested. I mean, I'm just 100% totally congested from the pollen. My eyes are probably swollen shut. All right. So no articulated hand. That's fine though, I guess. I mean, in all actuality, I've done a little bit of posing with my Hulkbuster. I mean, very minor changes, little things up on the back of his hands a little bit. Other than that, he just stands there. So I don't do much posing with him. And this guy's going to do the same thing. He's just going to stand. He's just going to stand there. I'm going to put him into some type of pose. And for the most part, that's where he's going to be. And he may get adjusted every now and again. But for the most part, he's going to serve a purpose of doing what it is that he does, which is pretty much just going to be stand there. You know what I mean? So like I said, I'm not hating on it as it's a power pose figure. It's a necessary part of the story. He's in both movies. You know what I mean? Infinity War and Endgame. What we got in here? Oh, a little silica. I don't remember if my Hulkbuster was packaged quite like this. To tell you the truth. What's going on over here with this computer? Patch project setup is preparing to install Shield Wizard. Oh, lovely. A little update going on right in the middle of the thing. Isn't that just real fun? Noble, how's it going, man? Rick, what's going on, man? The Hamsha, what's going on? Hello. I did see the rescue armor, and I agree. And did you notice on the back it says 49? Now, here's my problem with that. When, what was her name? Morgan, his daughter, when she was wearing the helmet, Tony says, "Where'd you get that?" And she's like, "In the garage," or something to that effect, you know. And I was under the impression the way he was talking that it was something he had been working on recently. I had a hard. I didn't get the impression that it had been sitting there for 5 years. You know what I'm saying? I did kind of remember something about Pepper saying something in the beginning of Infinity War when Tony was getting out of broadcast range from her. She said something that she was going to do, and I wondered if that could be tied into possibly her getting the rescue armor at that point. But I was truly under the impression, though, that the rescue armor came much later. Now, she was very familiar with it in the movie. I mean, she was a master at it, and they were working as a total team, back to back, and just totally kicking ass. And which meant that it wasn't a brand new suit. She obviously knew what she was doing. So then the question becomes, is that her 49th suit? Because War Machine, he's not part of the thing. You know, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, we haven't seen a 5. And there was a couple 2s. And the Iron Patriot. But War Machine isn't part of that setup. So I'm curious if that 49 is to mean the 49, with this being the Mark 48. Or maybe it was her 49th. Because 5 years passed. Which, again, is my opinion as to what happened in between number 50 and number 85. Because remember, Iron Man 3 was, what, 2 years after Iron Man 2 in Avengers, when he had the Mark 7. And then all of a sudden in Iron Man 3, he has, you know, Mark 42. And he built in that time frame 33 armors, or whatever it is, 35 armors in 2 years. So now he's had 5 years to sit around building armors and continually improving things or whatever. And I have a hard time believing he didn't do anything for 5 years. And he just said, "Oh, let's just go ahead and name this Mark 85 because it's fun to do." No, I think there's a 51 and a 52 and a 53, etc., 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 all the way up to 85. That's my opinion on that. And so what is that? 50, 60, 70, 80. So 35 in 5 years, 7 a year. That's what I believe. But I don't know what the Mark 40, what the 49 means on the back of Pepper's armor, which we've seen in the photos that have been shown us of it on display. You think it's going to be PPS? Oh man, I hope not. I hope you're wrong too. Does this Hulkbuster legs have a shampoo bottle feel due to the use of vinyl? Let's find out. Because I really don't like PPS. The legs feel hard. I mean hard. So a shampoo bottle, you can squeeze it and the shampoo comes out. I mean, it's not hard like a rock or a solid piece of plastic. It is PVC, 100%. And I can squeeze in, but I mean, I'm putting some effort and it's barely moving. It's not like, collapsing like a shampoo bottle would, which is a good way of asking that. So, yeah, when I squeeze it, I mean, with effort, with a lot of effort, it does move. I mean, I'm talking about a millimeter it moves. And that's only because it is PVC vinyl. And that, they didn't hide that from us. That was the reveal from the beginning. But no, it feels very sturdy. It doesn't feel like it's going to collapse from the weight of it or topple over from an ankle that's going to be positioned incorrect. I mean, you can't reposition the ankles, but I mean, it's not. I don't think that this is going to fall in on itself like you would a shampoo bottle. I can't imagine stacking shampoo bottles up and putting some weight on it, because this thing's got some weight to it. It's not as heavy as Hulkbuster. I would only guessing. I have no idea what he weighs. 100 pounds. No, he doesn't weigh even close to 100 pounds. But I don't have any idea what he weighs. But no, he doesn't collapse in when you squeeze him. You know what I'm saying? But it is PVC vinyl. You can hear it. You know what I mean? Compared to, like, here we go, Igor. So this is your traditional plastic. Listen to how this sits down. All right. All right. And of course, if I squeeze Igor's legs, they don't move. Well, okay, they do, like here where the joints are and the pieces are, real thin because of a joint, but they don't squeeze in like that. You know what I mean? They'll squeeze in because there's a piece of it there, but it's not collapsing like a shampoo bottle, which was the question. And let's see, how much does he weigh compared to Igor? Not much more than Igor, truthfully. Let me switch arms. I mean, he's a little bit more than Igor, but not like a lot more. So, and here's a size comparison of him and Igor, which is interesting, to say the least. I thought he would be, I don't know, I figured bigger. So there he is with Igor. You're welcome, Mesco. What is your thought about the gauntlets? There are multiples and with different sizes too. I pre-ordered Team Suit. Tony, did you? Yes, I did. I sure did. I went to Big Bad Toy Store to pre-order it. I clicked the pre-order button and it said you can only get one of these per household. And I said cool. And then I went to pre-order it and it said sold out. And I said, are you freaking kidding me? So I went back and it was like sold out on the first page. And it went to my account and it wasn't there as an order. I'm like, gosh, somebody beat me by like a half a second ordering this figure. I was like, you got to be kidding me. So of course, then I had to go to another store to place the order for it, and which I always resent doing that because I get the best deal at Big Bad Toy Store. But then I was like, let's go see what's going on at Big Bad Toy Store, and it was up for sale again. So I ended up getting 2 of them on order, and I was like, you know what? This just might be one of those where it's going to be like, if I didn't get 2, I'm going to wish I'd gotten 2. Kind of like Spider-Man, you know, where if you gotten 2 of those, you were making bank because you could sell one for $800 or whatever they're selling for. So I'm not too worried about it. I'm going to get the 2. They're not coming out until 2020. Was it a year and a half away almost? Well, yes, I did. And on the gauntlets. So I have not collected any of the other size stuff like that. Any of the 1-to-1 props, any of the 1/4 scale props, anything other than 1/6 scale. I've collected smaller, for instance, like Ant-Man, and I would collect larger, for instance, Hulk or Ant-Man, if because it would continue to tell the story. If I were to buy like a 1/4 scale Ant-Man or a half scale Ant-Man or a 1-to-1 Ant-Man, you know, in human size, regular size, like War Machine says, regular size guy, a regular size dude, regular size man. What's up, regular size man? Then I would, but you know, I didn't get the Infinity Gauntlet when it first came out, and the shields, the Captain America shields, and the Iron Man helmets. And I look at those things, and I'm like, man, those are really cool. Those are really, really neat. And these new gauntlets are really cool. And now they have like the life-size Hulk size, the life-size Iron Man size, and then they have a 1/4 scale. I think the Iron Man one. I'm not sure. It's really, really a good time to get something like that if that's what you want. You know what I mean? They're really cool looking. I mean, they really are. And I mean, I'm pretty much restricted to this room here. And as y'all know, there's not much room left for me to put anything. Certainly not like a Captain America shield, which I'd love to have a Captain America shield or a gauntlet, one of those Infinity gauntlets. You know, Thanos' gauntlet evidently is huge, big old huge thing. But no, I think that'd be cool to get. I just don't have, again, the ability to get it in there. What's going on, Jason? We just came out of watching Endgame. Yeah, well, man, that's awesome. I've only seen it 3 times. I've not gone back since, just because I've been really busy, and I want to go see it again. And you know, like Sean's seen it 10 times or something insane like that. My battery's going dead in my mouse. I probably wouldn't go see 10 times. I probably would watch it 10 times over the lifetime of watching it, because obviously it will come to me on video when I get that. So let's get back to this Hulkbuster. So supposedly, according to these instructions here, AAA batteries go in the back. Did they not include the batteries? Anybody know? I mean, I've got AAA batteries. Use the little tool. Plop that out. All right. Does it feel cheap? No, it feels heavy. I thought they said that the legs were movable. Do not try to bend the legs, otherwise the figure will be damaged. The indicated parts are not detachable. Don't try to take them off. Alright. So his waist moves. And his shoulders move. And his head moves. Rotates. His head rotates. His waist moves, or rotates. Alright, so we have... Alright, so what do we got here? Let's get his head turned back around again. Okay, so you can't go all the way around on his head. You get about, I don't know what that would be. Let's just say 300 degrees. About 300 degrees of rotation on the head. He's got this little cocked position to him where even if he's looking over here, it's kind of giving you this perplexed look. So that's as far as we got that. The waist can move to there. So if that's straight on, let's get him straight on. If that's straight on, that's how far the waist can go that way. And I'm putting some effort to really get this spinning good. Oh, all right. Well, we evidently can break his back. I've got him spun pretty much all the way around the other direction. That was putting some effort into him. So this is straight on, just like he was a second ago. And you see he spun quite a bit away. So now his back is facing you there. And that's how far back around I got him. And here he is, pretty much side on there. Again, it is PVC vinyl. He's solidly built. Doesn't necessarily feel like shampoo bottles. You know, the shampoo bottles are weak, and he doesn't feel weak. For instance, like this area here, around his belt, all right, where you can see there's a noticeable gap, which is to allow the movement of the waist. Okay, I can't push that in. It doesn't go in, and there's a gap there of, I don't know, I'd say probably 5 millimeters, and it doesn't push in. That shows you how strong or thick this is. And get the hand up to about there, and back to about there. So from there to there. And this one, I can get higher up. So on the left one, he goes up to that. The right one, he goes up to that, which is almost a 90 degree there. And goes up to that right there. They both go up about the same forward. Now that I've wiggled the waist and loosened him up, this is much easier spinning. But he feels like PVC. And it's not our first PVC figure that we've ever gotten from them. It's not our first Power Post figure either. Slide them up. I love AAA batteries. I buy the lithiums that don't rot inside your toys. Let's see. No batteries come with it. Thanks, Noble. Got Mark 50. All you guys getting your Mark 50s. Ugh. I love it, except that the arm is sort of stiff on the left arm of the figure. Huh. The advantage of PPS is it's cheaper. It certainly is. And the battery compartments are in one place. True. True. I got any juice in a little electric screwdriver here. That's all the way unscrewed. That's definitely all the way unscrewed. Huh. What am I doing wrong? I guess it wasn't all the way unscrewed. Alright, let's get some AAAs. I will be right back. So just the one compartment for batteries, right? So it shows 3 AAA batteries. Like I said, I use the Energizer lithiums for my AA's and AAA's. How many we got here with this box in the way? Guys, I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. And girls. Guys and girls. All y'all. That all work. Oh, jeez. Guys, I'm losing my mind. So I went to the battery box drawer. You know, you might have a drawer like that in your house where you keep all the batteries and other things that you need when you need them, and you expect it always to be full of everything that you need. Ha! No AAA brand new batteries in there. In a bowl next to the box, it's a whole handful of AAA batteries. None of them are lithiums, which means these came with whatever's, a remote control or something, and I would put a lithium in there instead. So I don't even know if these will even work. Cross your fingers. I'm betting this one ain't going to work. So I'll put this one in. Skip on these. I have a feeling we're not going to be able to light this up. I don't think this looks promising. I think I'm in trouble. Nope. I don't have any AAA batteries. Ooh, Ought to steal them out of the remote controls. Let's try these. Nope. What did I miss? Did you guys talk about me while I was gone? Let's see. Wow, you guys had a lot to say. Let's see. Sounds like you're drilling through the Hulkbuster. Sure to feel like it. I need a oh my god, yes. For fact, we need a Valkyrie, no doubt about it. And a Korg and a Meek, definitely. Captain Marvel. What would that be? A new head sculpt? Hey, good morning. How you doing, Robert? Spider-Man Far From Home. Thoughts, please. It's going to be amazing. There's going to be like 4 suits that I think I've seen. The black costume looks a little different than what we're accustomed to. They're changing it up a bit. Let's see. Don't get me stressing on Far From Home figures. The bank. I know, right? Sheesh. The bank can only hold so much of my money. Keep the Civil War costume. Oh gosh, if they make Mysterio, I'll die. Oh man. You know what? I don't know what it is with Hot Toys and why they don't like making villains. I mean, probably because you guys don't like buying the villains. For instance, you can get Electro for $50. You can get the Mandarin for, I think he's under $100 now. Brand new from Hot Toys distributors. And if these guys can't sell them, then why would they want to order any other villains? You know what I mean? Chitaris. You can get Chitaris all day long for like $100. So if nobody's buying the villains, why would they want to make the villains? I'm all about the villain. You have to have a villain in order to have a good guy. If you don't have a villain, what's the point in being a good guy? There's nothing to fight up against. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I hope they make Mysterio. I hope they make a Vulture. How's it going, Bruce? Mysterio looks like he's from Chuck E. Cheese. I hope he's cool in the movie. It was supposed to be Bruce Campbell back in the day with Tobey Maguire. That's who Mysterio was supposed to be, Spider-Man 4. Or was he supposed to be in 5? It was one of them. He was supposed to be in Spider-Man 4. And then Spider-Man 5 was supposed to be the Sinister Six. Let's see. Some of YouTubers say that Iron Man will come back. Do you think, Siri? Well, in the comics, he has become a self-aware, I wouldn't necessarily call him a hologram, an AI hologram. So he's kind of like becoming like Jarvis, and that's probably what we're going to get. So instead of him being like there, I think he's dead. Supposedly there was a Wikipedia post of the cast from Far From Home, and it showed Robert Downey Jr. in there as a cast member. And so the theory is that he's probably just going to be the AI for the suit, or something's going to pop up and he does something really stupid and says, yeah, don't do that, that's stupid, or something like that. So that's what I think. Probably be good. They got a high profile actor so we can are in for a treat. I got a Kit Bash Civil War cap. First bought any Angry Face. Oh yeah? How's that work? No, Jason, he won't. Some of YouTubers say that Iron Man will come back. Yeah, no. He won't come back as Iron Man. Then bought the body. Nice. So you're pretty much same as if he came out right. Missing a shield though. You should be able to find shields. Used to be you could buy shields all day long. Spider-Man trader come out of Hot Toys are Scream of Fortune, right? What's going on, Robo King? Nice. Robert, Civil War was probably my favorite MCU movie. I would say Thor Ragnarok really ranks up there pretty high as one of my favorites. And then, of course, Endgame just freaking keeps the tears coming the entire time. So that's obviously up there in the top one. I'm thinking collecting just only getting the Civil War figures. Well, that'd be simple enough. That's just Spider-Man and Iron Man. Ned, two Spider-Mans, Iron Man, and Ned. So that's your four Civil War figures. Oh no, Civil War. What am I thinking of? I'm thinking of Homecoming. Civil War. Oh, Civil War. That's a lot of figures when you think about it. What is that? Like 12 figures? Yeah, that would keep you busy. Civil War was a good collection of figures. Handicap Iron Mark 46. That's $1,000. That's more than $1,000 if you're collecting just Civil War, dude. The Mark pushing $400, and then this Cap's 300, and then you add one more. That's $1,000. That's not even all the Civil Wars. Easily. Do it, Robert. Don't go down the hole of almost every line. It's killing you. I know I'm already, but want to get doubles, right? Especially Cap Mark 46. Especially the prototypes. I like those. I'm wondering if Crazy Toys made 46. Is it possible? The only Crazy Toys that I have is this Hulk back here. And so I don't know anything about them, per se, in regards to the Iron Mans. I don't know anything about them at all. Sorry. Yeah, but if the villain is badass in the movie, like Hela, then they sell out. And why didn't they give us a proper Hela face sculpt? Right? We needed like her hair with the eyes and all that. Come on, that was wrong. They should. Somebody needs to make that. Any figures I can relate to and don't have yet exceptions are Cap and Diecast Iron Man. You can't go wrong with those two. I feel you, Rich. I got my Dark Knight complete almost, but want to represent Marvel, right? AJ Patton, how's it going? Need some batteries. I do need batteries. You better believe it. I am out of batteries. I got a whole bunch of dead batteries here. I need me some triple. I need me some AAA batteries. Do you think they'll update Thanos from Endgame? I want them. You know what? I think that the reason that the glove is shown on this hand is because that's what we've seen in the first movie, and Hot Toys is under like a gag order, and they can't. Unlike Lego that just says does whatever they want. Hot Toys pretty much has to follow suit with what the parent company says, be it Disney or MCU or whoever, Marvel or whatever's in charge at that point. And I think they're like, yeah, you can't show it on the right hand. So I think what we're going to get is we're going to get it fixed on the right side. Now, whether or not they're going to release new images for that, I couldn't tell you. But like on this video that I just made this morning, it's processing. I'm going to upload it here after I get done with this. I'm talking about the quantum suit. Hot Toys specifically states in their announcement that now that the movie's out, we can divulge this information. And I think that was the deal, why the Thanos Infinity Gauntlet is on the wrong hand, so the right hand like it's supposed to be. That's good. Civil War is amazing. It is. Robert, you call a new master. Get him. Siri, what do you think about the Hasbro Marvel Legends Endgame Infinity Gauntlets? I think all the Infinity Gauntlets are cool. I mean, I've seen the big ones and played with them, and they're fun. And I mean, it if it appeals to you, go for it. You're not gonna. I don't think you're gonna be disappointed, truthfully, if that's what you want. I could see that being a centerpiece of someone's collection. Like the Hulkbuster is obviously a centerpiece. Like Star Wars fans with something like the Millennium Falcon would be a serious centerpiece. I could just get Cap and Mark 46 and I'd be good for Civil War. Then maybe the rest later. It's funny. It starts off like that. You say, "Oh man, all I need is just this Iron Man." Well, I need this Iron Man and this Cap because they got to fight each other. Well, now I need to get Bucky because really Bucky is Iron Man, is Cap's best friend, and really that's kind of what the whole Civil War was started over. Well, if I'm getting Bucky, I'm going to have to get Sam. Well, now I've got all the Cap sides. I need some of Iron Man's sides. So, well, I've got to get Black Panther. He has to represent Civil War. Oh, and Black Widow. She's totally instrumental. Oh, don't forget Vision. If it wasn't for Vision and Scarlet Witch, you have to have Scarlet Witch. And come on, you can't have Iron Man without his buddy War Machine. Next thing you know, you're getting Spider-Man, and all your money's gone. And then you got to buy Ant-Man. And don't forget Hawkeye. That's how it starts. At least you don't have to buy Thor. He wasn't there. Or Hulk. 1 minute. I kind of want a Hot Toys Fat Thor. Oh my God. I definitely want a Hot Toys Fat Thor. For fact. I mean, he's got to have the beard, the whole 9 yards. I mean, just straight up, put him in the sweatpants and everything, man. For fact, we have to have a Hot Toys Thor. No doubt about it. My buddy that has received one yet. That'll be a big deal when that shows up. Too much credit for making things. Yeah, it was Mark 7 new Jedi Luke with hair, pretty much. Yeah, that Jedi Luke looks pretty good, man. I really can't collect Star Wars figures because I'm all out of room for stuff. But yeah, I'm really digging the Jedi Luke. Right. First Chris Reeve, and I'll stop. And then 89 Batman. And then Joker. And then bulky Thor. Right, Nicholson Joker. Classic. If you're getting 89 Batman, you have to have the Nicholson Joker. They go hand in hand. Stop, you guys are killing me. I was like, damn it. Right? So that's where we are in that regards. And I can't light him up. But it looks like he's got, and you guys probably know more about this figure than I do at this point. Half of you probably own him already. The other half of you probably already watched the other videos. And that's fine. But it looks like he's got lights back here. And the lights inside. A light on the chest. Lights on the hands for the open hands. And then I imagine lights on the head. Lights here on the chest, perhaps. Right there. And possibly a light back there. I'm guessing that's where he lights up at. So I will get him lit up next week. For fact. No doubt about it. I'll be picking up AAA batteries this weekend. Third party 89 Gordon and Alfred. I thought I saw a Gordon at one time. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. And I didn't see an Alfred either. Interesting. Thinking about getting the diecast Mark 7 good choice. I will say this. There's a lot of people that really are big into the Mark 6. And the Mark 4 and the Mark 6 are virtually the same suit. It's the chest that's really different on them, and then the very minor difference there. But I think the Mark 7 is really the figure. Especially this new Mark 7 comes with a lot of accessories, and I can't see you ever going wrong getting any Mark 7, be it die-cast or plastic. It's like a necessary item. It's like the suit. It's pretty much, in my opinion, it's the quintessential suit. I like the Mark 4 and Mark 6. I like them all. But I think the Mark 7 is really, really a big deal. On top of that, so many of the other suits are based on the Mark 7 after that. So from the Mark 8 up, so many of them have Mark 7 pieces in them because it's just a quintessential suit. Going through my Hulkbuster. Yeah, no. You definitely want a Mark 7. It's like the Tony suit. You know, they showed this, I think it was, what movie was it in? I don't remember now, but It's when it was after Avengers, and he was talking to Rhodey in like a sort of restaurant, and the little kids come up there with this picture that they've drawn, and Tony has like this nuclear meltdown, and he has to go out into a suit to check his statistics, and the suit was like wide open there right from the back, and he's walked right into it. And Hot Toys showed us that they had made one of those. Obviously, it would have been a sculpture instead of a figure, and it never came about. But the Mark 7 was a preferred suit. This was after Avengers, and I don't remember when it was, what movie that was that he did that in. Was that? That wasn't Civil War, was it? No. What movie was that, guys? Is that Iron Man 3? No. What was that? I got CW Tom Welling, Smallville, tempted to get the CW Flash next to him. I think it's a pretty good idea. Rick, who remembers the god-awful what was that? George Clooney's Batman. That's who that was. Hey Siri, are you getting the Marvel and Endgame light box? No, I am not. Be cool. I've seen those and thought they look really neat. The Lee Garden exhibition is going to end Monday, and the price is going sky high. I believe that. They look really cool. Those light boxes are really neat. Also, I'm wondering if you can kit bash Iron Man, how much would just the body be, like the Mark 46? Well, the Mark 46 would be expensive. That's a favorite one. You can buy Mark 33 Centurions right now, brand new, for like under $200. If you wanted to kit bash just a regular old Iron Man, let's see, where's he at? $229. You get a brand new Mark 33 Silver Centurion kit bash it. And that's pretty cool armor. That's the one that has the swords in the hands. Iron Man 3 when he has it in the restaurant. Thanks, guys. Couldn't remember. I was like, Civil War didn't make any sense. But Iron Man 3 just didn't feel right. It was the Mark 8 he stepped in. No, that wasn't the Mark 8, dude. That was the 7. No, the Mark 9. You know what? We never really seen the Mark 9. They sold us the Mark 9. It was the Mark 8 that we seen at the end of Iron Man 3 that Pepper used the arm to destroy Killian with. They told us it was the Mark 9. It was not the Mark 9. That was the Mark 8. But that was the Mark 7 that he stepped into at the restaurant. Mark 9. The Mark 9 is the one they sold with Pepper, but that's not the one that she used in the movie. Mark 7 was in the basement, and Mark 8 was with Pepper in the 2-pack. And Mark 9 is with Pepper in the 2-pack. Look at the pictures. Mark 8 looks like one movie. The difference between the Mark 8 and the Mark 9 and the Mark 7 are the legs. So all three of those figures, 7, 8, and 9, all have the same chest and arms. The Mark 9 has the Mark 17 Heartbreaker legs. The Mark 8 has the Mark 33 Silver Centurion legs. And the Mark 7 has the Mark 7 legs. So as you're watching the end of Iron Man 3, when the suit flies to him, he no longer has earpieces, and he's not communicating to Jarvis in the suit, and he can't tell it not to terminate the extremis that it's found. When the suit flies at you, I think it's pretty much like in this position here, he's coming at you. If you'll look at the legs, this portion of the legs, you can tell for a fact that they're not Mark 17 legs. They're Mark 33 legs, which would mean that's the Mark 8 that's flying after her, that they then destroy. She takes the arm, puts her hand inside of it, and takes care of Killian. The Mark 8. The Mark 9 is the one that they sold us with Pepper, because the arms are the same. On the 7, 8, and 9, it's the same arms. And the same chest on the 7, 8, and 9. But it's definitely the Mark 8 that she does that with. And this is the Mark 9. And Mark 7 was at the restaurant. So that's how that goes. We didn't get to see a Mark 8. Mark 8 figure, but it was instrumental in the movie. So they totally geeked that up when they made it. They just never made us a Mark 8. Maybe we'll get a Mark 8 now that the Mark 7 diecast is coming out. That'd be cool. Pepper superhero fell out of place, but still loved her in the movie. Yeah, she was still finding her way. I mean, she was going from being his administrative assistant to being his full-on lover to being the owner of the company to eventually becoming his wife and the mother of his child. So she had to grow into all of that. You know what I mean? And they just couldn't. I guess they just didn't feel like just throwing that right in our lap. We knew where it was going. It was just that, you know, sometimes you want to see half of the beautiful thing about the story is the journey to get there. So many armors, it's so hard to keep track. It is. It really is. My favorite's Mark III original. You know, you talking about the plastic, not the diecast? Mark 7 Avengers, definitely. Mark 46 is cool. Both Mark 46s, both the original Mark 46 from Captain America Civil War and the Mark 46 prototype. Either one of those. You can't go wrong. And the 47. All three of those are the exact same suit, different paint schemes. That's it. And I thought there was like one little thing on the shoulder or bicep or something. I had to look at it again. I think there was one little thing that was different on the Mark 46 concept, like one little line or something that they did someplace on the thigh or the bicep. I forget where now, but you can't go wrong with any of those. No doubt about it. 7, 4, and 6. 17. I love the 17. The 5 diecast. Dude, if you haven't gotten the 5 diecast, you really missed out. That suit is amazing. I am really blown away by the Mark 5 diecast. No doubt about that. Star Boost is pretty cool because he's unique. I think you can buy him still brand new. Mark 21s, because he's a Mark 7, are cool. If you can even find any of those. Especially if you can get a chrome one. The Mark 40 shotgun is neat because of the way it's designed, and you get the helmet that lights up with the face in it, which is unique. Plastic or diecast? Mainly diecast. The only diecast figure I've been disappointed with, only because the other diecast figures that have come out and they've been nicer, is the Mark III. It was like one of the first ones, wasn't it? Like 03 or 02. Hell, it may have been 01. I don't remember now. But by the current standards of diecast figures, like the 46 and the 45 and the 47 and all those that are coming out, yeah, the Mark III needs to be redone for fact. And I don't dislike my plastic ones after getting the diecast. They still serve their purpose. You know, I have my Mark IVs, my Mark VIs, and then I have the Mark IV, Mark VI diecast as well. So they still serve their purpose. They still get posed and displayed. So I don't think you can go wrong either way. No matter. The Mark III is neat because you can actually do the full-on, straight-up superhero landing. Specifically, without having to do any magic photoshopping or gluing of a head into a spot where it can't naturally bend. Because that's what they'll do. When they'll put it into the superhero pose, they'll take the head off and then it won't actually be attached to the neck in order to get it up like that, because you can't necessarily get it in that position. Mark 40 shotgun, you can get the head up like that, but not like the ones that they show 42 and all that. But you can with the Mark III diecast. You can actually get that in the power pose because it has an interchangeable waist that you can take out just for the superhero landing. You know, Hot Toys just released Mark 6 Endgame Gauntlet keychain, but you can unplug the gauntlet and use it in any Tony Stark figure. Check Budget Stark's Facebook. Also light up. You can get it through Eric. I've got so many in-game gauntlet keychain. You can unplug the gauntlet and use it on any Tony Stark figure. Well, that's pretty cool. It's interesting. So I'm wondering, just by Mark 7, just the body. You mean what? Like the plastic one? I don't know if anybody would be selling a $200 one, and I know for a fact you're not going to get a Mark 7 diecast for $200. That's dreaming, Robert. I think you're dreaming, dude. I think they stopped selling the gantry Iron Man. Yeah, on both of those, you're going to have to only find those through second party. I have the Mark III. There's a guy that did a great pose for it on YouTube. Can you show your Iron Patriot? Sure. So this armor was used 4 times. And it's literally paint scheme only is the only difference. So you had Mark II, right up there you have the Mark II that was not released, which was supposed to be introduced by Tony to Rhodey. And then you have the Mark II for the new Avengers, which was at the end of Age of Ultron, which was that one. And then we had the Iron Patriot from Iron Man 3. And then, of course, we have the Hot Rod, which was the prototype for that suit. So that tells you where he was in building these. Because supposedly, at the end of Iron Man 2, before or after Avengers, before Iron Man 3, he supposedly built up to 22, and that's when he would have gotten the Mark II presented to him. And to get hit back, the Mark II, which was taken by Rhodey to convert into the War Machine. So the Mark II was actually turned into the War Machine. Tony didn't have the Mark II while Rhodey had the War Machine. So in order for Tony to get the Mark II back, he had to get the War Machine back and take all the War Machine stuff off of it. And that's why he made him the Mark II War Machine up there, which was off of the Mark 22 Hot Rod prototype. And then the Iron Patriot was just a different paint scheme of that, which we've never seen, but we've been told the story. And then that one was at the end of New Avengers. So that's the 4 armors that they're identical. The Hot Rod doesn't come with this laser cannon, but it does have the star in the chest. So the Hot Rod has a star in the chest, but doesn't come with a laser cannon. So here is the Iron Patriot. And he's one of the original die casts as well. Let's get some light on him. And every one of these are really just built just a little bit differently. And I don't mean every one of the War Machines. I mean, all the die casts are built just a little bit differently. So for the most part, it'll be the legs and the arms were, the legs are die cast. I think there's something in the waist that was die cast, but a lot of the pieces are plastic. So it's not like a full-on, straight-up, everything on it is die cast when you consider a die cast figure. It's just portions of it are. So if you're an Iron Patriot fan, then this is a great figure. This guy sat for like ages, unable to sell. Nobody was buying them. He just sat there. You could have gotten one of these for a really good deal there in the end before they all got gobbled up. And I was very happy to get mine. I love them. All of them come with a saluting hand. Even the Mark 22 Hot Rod. What is that? Ivan says, I can give you a hand salute. Salute? What do you mean a salute? You know, I can give you a salute. That's the Iron Patriot. Great figure. I love him. Fusion character. Wasn't Iron Patriot Captain America? Not that I remember. He may have been. I don't remember. Sorry. Mark III diecast is not in scale to newer. Yes, correct. He is not. He's too small. He totally needs to be revisited. Then heard it was Green Goblin. Iron Patriot was Green Goblin? In comics, it was Norman Osborn. Oh, I didn't know that. Where's Mark 51 through 84? Any idea? Yep. They are in the 5 years that transpired in between the time that they killed Thanos and they discovered Scott Lang. So, in my opinion, he was continually building suits and in the garage where Morgan was playing and found her mother's helmet. So, they were all there. And whether or not they were manifest as actual suits is a good question because they're all nanos, attached, whatever, tap the chest or however he actuates them in that regards. And but they were all, in my opinion, he was continually building. 7 suits a year, I figure, would make the differences between 51 and 84. That's what I believe. And I also believe that 49 on the back of the rescue suit is her 49, not his 49. Because he doesn't 49, he don't count these as part of his. So I want to get an Iron Patriot to go with the bulky Endgame version. Yeah, and that looks like he's going to be an Iron Patriot too, doesn't it? Because he's got the red and blue on him, right? Why does Iron Patriot look like Captain America? Was he ever in it? I didn't think he was. I thought it was always Rhodey. I think so. It was to inspire hope in America. How does Iron Patriot hold up? Well, sometimes these hips in the diecast figures go out, but he doesn't get posed much. So, for instance, if I were to do this with my Mark 42 or my Mark 43, the hip would probably just fall straight down from the weight of this. But I don't move these guys much. So pretty much where they stay is where they stay. And it's holding up pretty well. So, here's the thing. You'll have to buy this from a third party, which means someone's going to have it on display and maybe has played with it or threw it on the ground a half dozen times. And he may be in worse wear than others. So keep that in mind. If the deal's too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true. So as far as that goes, you know what I mean? So don't be so stingy and miserly that you end up getting something that is broken. There's probably a reason why the guy would be selling it for less than what it's really worth. And I would say he's easily a $300 figure, at least. Probably push $400. I'd say he's probably a $400 figure. My opinion. It doesn't come with much. It just comes with hands. And I think an alternate head sculpt. I don't remember. Yeah, actually, he comes with another head sculpt where the helmet, the faceplate, looks like it's separating just a little bit from it. It's like not quite on all the way. And that's the way it's supposed to look. So I remember now he comes with an extra head sculpt. Go for it, man. There's also the Falcon that's in red, white, and blue. What was he from? Winter Soldier? No more Tony to upgrade his armor. Oh, that's right. Oh, Robert, you hit the nail on the head. Probably left some instructions, and he always has Friday to help. Well, I think we're going to see Tony as an AI. I don't think Tony's really gone, but I think he's gone. I don't think he's really gone. I think his consciousness is someplace, or an AI that looks like him is. Rhodey could always take Tony's place as Iron Man. He did it in the comics. He really is an Iron Man, isn't he? Is the Mark 7 diecast going to have the shotgun mask feature you're talking about? I don't believe that they've reduplicated that since Shotgun. And the Mark 23 Shades, which is the exact same outfit as the Mark 40 Shotgun, does not come with that feature. So the only one that has that I remember, was the Mark 40 shotgun, where you put the helmet down. You know, you got this. Put the helmet down. Boom, lights come on. My understanding, from my memory, only the Mark 40 shotgun that does that. None of the other figures did that. It's like the Iron Legion when it came out. That was very unique in the way that they had the battery compartments on there. It makes complete sense. I was like, oh man, this is fantastic. Need to do all of them that way. Yeah, they didn't. Just the Iron Legion is the only one they did that way. And it would have been so perfect if they'd have continued on that process of putting the battery compartments the way that they have them. That would have been great. Didn't happen. What's going on, Ruben? How you doing, man? Rhodey takes Tony's place as Iron Man. You know, I hadn't thought about that until you said that. Um, just as long as he gets lots of cheeseburgers from Morgan, right? Punisher takes Rhodey's place as War Machine. I've got that figure on order, by the way. If I PO'd Tony Stark's quantum suit, I have 2 of them. I hate dust. It is a terrible thing to our hot toys, and it is a absolute terrible thing in this house. As you see, I don't have these in display cases. I don't have an additional $1,000 to spend on display cases. So, and this house originally had what they call tar and gravel roof, and when you remove that and you put on shingles or whatever, you still have that seeps through. So constantly it's a battle in this house to fight the seeping through of the old tar and gravel that was in between the rafters of the roof, and it just comes in here. So it's just a constant battle, and you almost have to purpose yourself to clean these all the time. And it's been a long time since I cleaned my figures. It's spring cleaning time for fact. It definitely is spring cleaning time, no doubt about that. Maybe Mark 15 is cheaper now than the Mark 80, the retro one. Love that figure. The Mark 15, I don't think you can get a Mark 15 anymore. Those all sold out. You're talking about the Sneaky, right? Mark 15? No, I don't think you can find a Sneaky, man. Those are cool. They have this hand on the Sneaky. It's got 2 separate hands. They never really explained it. They never really said what the purpose of the other hand is for. Are you getting the Hot Toys Punisher War Machine figure? I am. Do you have both 1/6 scale Hulkbusters? I do not. I have only the... okay, alright. I have both if you're talking about Ragnarok and Age of Voltron, but I do not have the Avengers Hulk. I need an Avengers Hulk. I've got an Avengers Hulk from Crazy Toys, but not Hot Toys. And he's a little bit larger than the other ones, and his color's a little off, and the head is a little not dead on. But he works. He's close enough. He's got the right pants. Like I say, he's wrong color green, and he's not as high quality as the Hot Toys is. But he's also not the price of the Hot Toys is. I think he's like 60 or 80 bucks comparatively, $300 or $400 for Hulk. Two quantum suits. Tony, for what, Siri? By accident, because I went to BBTS to buy it. It said it was sold out, so I was like, well, I'm not going to miss this. So I went to another site and made it happen, and they went back to BBTS, and it was there. And I'd already dropped my deposit on the other one, and I was like, might as well get it, because I don't know. It's like with Spider-Man. I literally had 2 of those on order and canceled one of them. And you need to, truthfully, because you got 2 stories to tell. You got Civil War and you got Homecoming. Exact same suit, 2 movies. And you need to be able to dress him up in his backpack with his collegiate, whatever that was, the contest he was going to in DC, this coat and all that. Now you need to be able to display him in 2 different ways. You need to be able to display him with his helmet on and with his head on. And so, because he's in 2 different movies, I only have the one. I'm just doing kit bashes since it's cheaper. That's true than Hot Toys, unless it's a Hot Toys figure I really want. Yeah, I mean, if you can find what you need, can't go wrong. Truthfully, Mark 15 Retro. Good luck trying to find one of those, man. I think those are even harder to find than the original Mark 15. To me, that's more classic Iron Man Mark 15 Retro. Yeah, because people gobbled him up, and he's chromed. Quantum Suit Cap is next, by the way. Yeah, I have a feeling because I've seen them showcased with the Iron Man Quantum Suit. If you notice, if you happen to see the Hot Toys catalog, it showed the green suit Captain Marvel in it as upcoming. And those of you who keep track of the MMS numbers notice that there's one missing, like around 436 or something like that. And I have a feeling that was supposed to be the green suit Captain Marvel. But Captain Marvel sat for so long without selling out that I don't know if maybe Hot Toys has ditched that now. Be interesting to see how that works out. I kind of want a green suit Captain Marvel, I'll tell you the truth. I'd like to get the whole Kree army, 5 of them, whatever it is. That'd be cool. I just got Masterpiece Optimus Prime in animation form. Looks just like the cartoon MP10C. I mean, that is cool. I wish that they had like what, you know, I have the 2007 prototype Camaro style Bumblebee is one that I'd like to see. That one. And I've got the little bitty figures, but all the statues, all the big ones, are not that. They do Dark of the Moon, Revenge of the Fallen, but they don't do the first movie with that. And that's the Bumblebee that I want. Big one. Let's see. I'm selling my Mark 42 diecast for the Mark 40. Selling my Mark, where did that go? Diecast for the Mark 50 diecast in a few days. Oh, good job. Mark 42 is very popular. People liked that a lot at one point. And then Mark 43 kind of took its place. I am for sure getting 2 Far From Home suit, Spider-Man's new red-black suit. Isn't there like 4 suits in the movie? Did I see 4 suits? I do my doubles as Kit Bash since I have originals, right? That black suit Spidey looks like Tecmo. I agree. It's the first thing I thought too when I seen it. I'm like, oh, there's Tecmo. I'm sorry to bother you, but I am at your back door with battery. Let me go get some batteries at the back door. Oh, this is too funny. Guys, don't go anywhere. I've got batteries at the back door.
I thought you were asleep. I could hear your sleep
Guys, I got a treat for you. Give me a minute. My daughter has joined us. Have a seat. Let's put some batteries in the Hulkbuster. How the heck are you? Good morning.
Hi.
I didn't seriously think you were going to bring batteries by.
Well, I was watching this morning from my hotel room, and I thought, I want to see him light up.
That's freaking awesome. Let's go for it. So what do you think of this guy, by the way?
It's pretty cool.
So the question they have, does he feel cheap?
Looks like a big Barbie. But he's heavy. Very heavy. You said PVC, I was thinking he would feel...
Yeah, so in comparison, this is how normally the plastic ones come. So feel that. That's the Mark 38 Igor. And
This
this
is
is
more
the
like an
PVC.
80s toy.
Right?
80s action figure.
All right, we have batteries. Batteries. Someone stole your batteries. I say we go get them. Thanks for bringing these by. That was awesome.
Oh, you're welcome.
Drilling through the Hulkbuster again, guys. So if you remember, this was, we've seen Bruce Banner was the one that we've seen using this. And the question comes, was it originally designed for Bruce? Obviously not, because Tony was totally surprised when Bruce showed up. So Tony was expecting to use this. So why did he go with the smaller one? Any idea? I mean, the regular Hulkbuster barely beat Hulk. Matter of fact, probably didn't even beat Hulk, to tell you the truth. I don't know why he would go with the smaller one. Doesn't seem to make much sense to me. Yeah, hey!
Yay! Much better.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
He's got more lights on him than I thought he did.
Yeah. Oh, I like his eyes. He looks alive. That's really cool.
Got a little flicker here. That was
Shorten
flickering.
out?
Yeah. See that one? No, it's not doing it.
No, it looks like you jarred it back into place.
That looks nice. So yeah, that's the good thing, like you guys were saying, with the power pose, is you end up getting one set of batteries for everything. Kick down some of these lights here. That didn't make any difference. The camera literally compensated. Those are pretty bright. I mean,
Really bright.
the camera's actually showing them brighter than they really are, because I can look into it without it like blinding me. You know what I mean? And the camera makes it look like as if they are blinding. They're not. They're not blinding. The good thing is, though, if you use, you have to remove them out of the figure, which you have to do with your silver oxide and your other little button cell batteries, because they will go inside of there. Again.
Huh.
But if you put lithiums in here, you don't with the batteries in them all the time, and it's not going to affect anything. And this is on with a magnet, and it's really easy to use the little tool that they give you here. Stick it right there and just pry right on there. You see that? It's like right here. Just stick it in that little black area right there and just pry right on down. It's just on there with magnets, and then just the one screw, and that's where the little on-off switch is right there in the back for him to turn everything on and off.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. So what do you think? Think he's worth it?
Yeah, I think
You
he's pretty cool.
Think people should get this figure?
Well, I don't know.
I mean, he's Hulk. You know what I'm saying? Hulk is the one that used him, and I don't think that that's what he was built for. I think Tony was the one that was building him for himself, to tell you the truth. And then he just Bruce ended up getting to use it because Bruce wasn't supposed to be showing up. So let's see where we at. Let's back up some of the chat that I've missed. Thank you for bringing those. Oh my God.
You're welcome.
You see my little stack here of worthless batteries that don't
Oh,
work.
yeah, I was watching and I was thinking, oh, I can't wait to see him lit up. And
Professor Hulk. Oh, you know they're going to make Professor Hulk. I'm hoping that they make not only a Professor Hulk, but also the quantum suit Hulk. Yeah, the Mark 50 accessory pack. Now, see, that's the one thing. So what they do now is, like, used to be whenever you would get, like, the Mark 7 and the Mark 6, you come with all these other accessories. And now you get, like, 4 hands and nothing. and the price is going up on them.
Oh.
So now, like the Mark 50, which is the current one from the last movie, not this one that came out by the Infinity War. If you want to get all the extra stuff, you got to pay for that too. So then you get the Mark 50, which comes with a few things, and then you have to buy the Mark 50 accessory pack for like another $200 to get all the junk that would normally come, like with Mark 7, the original Mark 7, comes with so much stuff it's not even funny. Mark 6 and Mark 4 as well, they just come with a whole lot of stuff. I mean, you get drawers full of stuff that you could put all the little this is like one suit of stuff that used to be able to you would get with them, and that ain't the case anymore. Now they just give you 4 hands and good luck to you.
Oh.
You know, so now you got to buy the accessory packs. Just crazy. I don't know why they did that. It's all about the money. You guys know that. Hot Toys is all about getting the money. I bet Spidey Far From Home will have a scene of a hollow Tony talking to Peter. I think you're dead on, Robert. I think you're 100% dead on. I agree with you 100%. The green suit was Jan Rog. You can tell because it has the blasters and a male body. In the Hot Toys catalog, I'm pretty sure it was Captain Marvel. I hope Hot Toys makes Professor Hulk. Yeah, I think they definitely will. I miss Classic Hulk. More so. God, that was so funny. So in the movie, you haven't seen it yet, so and you probably won't, so I'm going to ruin it for you anyhow. So Hulk is up there, like on, I don't know what floor he's on, like probably the 42nd floor of the Avengers, well, it was actually Stark Tower at that point. And so they're getting in the elevator, and it's all the Avengers, you know, the group of them. And Hulk decides he wants to get on there. And, you know, he's pushing probably 700 pounds or 800 pounds. And they're like, dude, no, weight restriction. You got to take the stairs. And Hulk doesn't like having to take the stairs. And you see him like a few minutes later, you're still like a whole tower of stairs. He's like, more stairs. So he gets down to the bottom. So Tony's like getting ready to go leave. And he decides he's going to head out the stairs. And as soon as he gets to the stair door, Hulk busts right through the stair and tore Tony for a loop. And Hulk just comes there, me hate stairs or something like that. He's just totally torqued. He's pissed. He's beyond angry at that point. It's so funny because you totally forgot. At that point, you no longer remembered that Hulk was coming down the stairs. You're all wrapped up in what's going on with Tony and Ant-Man and Loki and Robert Redford. All these characters are sitting there, and Tony's like sneaking away. He's like, yeah, Tony's going to get away. Boom! The door literally just flies off the hinges, and the Hulk busts through. Me hate stairs! He's pissed off.
Oh.
Awesome. They'll make sure Hulk will pump him out in the next week or two. You know, I hope so. Well, actually, I don't hope so. They need to slow down. Hello, they said. Daughter, cool.
Hello.
And they waved.
Hi.
Our savior, that's right. She brought the batteries. AAA. She brought the Duracell. Energizer lithiums are the ones I recommend.
And they didn't have any at the store.
And they're 3 times as expensive. Lithiums are. So like these are like regular price batteries. So like this whole pack here of 10 pack was probably, I don't know, $5, $8, higher, $10. Get out. How much? Where'd you buy them at? 7-Eleven?
Red Aid.
Oh, okay, that's why.
They were out of most batteries. That was actually the last pack of AAA they had.
Wow.
Anything, so.
Jeez, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
But lithiums are like 3 times as expensive as
sure.
alkalines. So, you know, this would probably cost $20 if it was lithiums. You didn't pay $20 for this, did you?
No.
But these will work. I mean, we have plenty of things that go through AAA batteries all the time. I'll be putting lithiums in him though eventually, but he sure does look cool. I'm really super happy you brought those.
Cool.
Also, do you got all the MCU movies or just a few? I've got them all. Too bad can't pose. Talking about power pose Hulkbuster. Are you into 1-to-1 size Iron Man pieces? I asked because of the new Iron Man Infinity Gauntlet just announced. I am not, and not because I don't dig them, but because I don't have the room for them. For real.
For real.
And my daughter can tell you, this is like the max that I'm allowed to have storage here because the rest of the house is just full of other stuff. And there's more than just me living here, obviously. My wife, you know, she's the boss. You know how that goes. Not really, though. I'm the boss.
Yeah.
Don't tell her I said that. So I would love to have like a big old Captain America shield or the gauntlet, any of the gauntlets. And the Iron Man gauntlet really looks cool, and the Hulk gauntlet looks really cool too. And yeah, they've announced like what, 3 of them? They announced the Iron Man gauntlet, they announced the Hulk gauntlet, they announced the Mark 1/4 scale gauntlet. So both those are 1-to-1. They announced the 1/4 scale gauntlet, and I imagine there's probably, is there a Thanos gauntlet that they already announced before as well? So yeah, there's a whole ton of gauntlets out there. If you want the gauntlets, man, you couldn't go wrong. And truthfully, that would be a great display piece. I mean, if you had like a coffee table or an end table or whatever, you have a man cave. I mean, that's just an awesome looking piece. It's this gauntlet that I don't have anything to even show you anything like that. But it's this big, huge glove that has these stones in them, one in each one of the knuckles, and one here in the back, and one in the thumb. And it's just really cool because in the new movie, it's an Iron Man gauntlet. So it's the red and gold. So kind of like this, only big for like an Iron Man. And they make it in a 1-to-1 size, so you can have one, this big of this light up thing on there. And it's cool. It's really cool. Oh, these are his hands.
Oh.
So these go right on here.
Oh, that's neat.
Mm-hmm. You want to try putting it on? I don't think you can break it.
I hope not. I don't know how to do this. Just snap it on?
Just push it right on. Can't go wrong. Which armor do you think is the better value? Mark 7 die-cast or Mark 5 die-cast plus accessories? So Mark 7 die-cast plus accessories or the Mark 5 die-cast. And he's got a little light inside the palm there.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, his fingers don't move, though.
Nope. So this is a power pose figure.
Okay.
So, which is probably some of the question of some of the guys, because most of the figures, even that blue one you were just holding, they have the little ability to move their little fingers.
Yeah, and I like that.
And so with the power pose figure, they save you some money because you're not having to drop like $1,000 for the big Hulkbuster out there, which is fully articulated.
Right.
And you can move his fingers and everything. And this guy is a third of the price of that. So that's what you end up missing. You can't move his legs, can't move his ankles, can't move his fingers, and can't move his elbows. He's just very limited. So they call that a power pose series because of the limitations in movement. The Mark V is darn cool. I don't know if you can reach that. Yeah, grab him first. Thank you.
Welcome. Oops.
So that's the original Mark V, and I imagine you're talking about the diecast, right? So let's see if you can slide that other guy out behind the blue, the other red one.
This guy?
Yeah, so slide him away from the blue first. The Mark V is super, super cool. This guy does things that the others don't. He opens up in all of these little areas, which just makes him remarkable. There's no other armor that opens up in so many little areas. Because remember, this is the one that started off as a suitcase that he put on. It was his first attempt to try to have a temporary or a mobile suit that he could put on without having to have a gantry. And this guy really opens up. So in comparison to the original release of this, Mark V, it doesn't open up like that either. You can do an interchangeable battle damage pieces here, and you can do an interchangeable arm right there. But other than that, there's nothing opened up on him. I don't even think the back had any flaps. Let me look. You got him? Mm-hmm. Oops. Is that his helmet?
Yep.
Yeah, there's no flaps even on the back of them. So these little pieces will move in here on the chest, which are designed for the movement of the shoulders, really, so you're not scratching anything up. Rather than that, he doesn't do anything. So when they reimagined this, and by the way, I had to make this, he doesn't come with a head sculpt. It only comes with the helmet. Even the die-cast doesn't come with a head sculpt, which is stupid, because we literally see him put the face mask on when he's donning this suit. Thank you.
Okay.
When they reimagined this, they really did it right. The Mark 7 doesn't do this either. The Mark 7 diecast does not do this. This suit is unique in so many ways. So if you're only to buy one,
Would this be the one?
I don't know, it's tough. Because the Mark 7 is such a cool suit, and it's such an instrumental suit, and it was in 2 movies, but this suit is just so freaking cool. I mean, this one little piece right here on mine is loose. It doesn't stay up. But there's no other suit that does all of this. All these things will close right up. They'll close up, and you can just make them like normal without having anything open. So all these little pieces that are open because I posed them open. They don't have to be open to be open. So, I mean, every little thing here. I just,
He's really intricate.
yeah, I feel like talking about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I can't think of a reason to impeach President Trump. There's just so many of them. That's the way it is with this. There's just so many. And I think she's crazy, by the way. I'm not saying that I agree with her. I think she's crazy. But let's feel right now trying to talk about it. It's like, oh my God, there's so many things about this. If you're only buy one, I guess Mark 7 just because it's pivotal, but you'll really hate yourself for not getting this Mark 5 diecast. That's all I can say. It's like not getting a Mark 4 or the Mark, you know? The Mark 7 is the Mark 7 anyway you look at it. But the Mark 4 and the Mark 6 are doggone cool. So, and you'll struggle with that always. You're always going to struggle with that. That's always going to be the big question. I mean, he's a cool figure, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
And he's solid. He doesn't feel all flimsy and
No.
loose. Unlike the original Mark V, which totally just feels totally flimsy and loose. But the Mark 7 diecast, you can put that into the coffin mode or the flying box mode or whatever you want to call that, which I'm really excited about because I wanted one of those from like day one. Let's see where we at. Who needs flashlights with that beast around? I ain't kidding you.
Yeah.
In my opinion, the Mark V is just a unique armor which makes it stand out. Bingo. You hit the nail on the head, Robert. No doubt about it. Mark 7 is classic. Can't go wrong with either choice. You and I are on the same page, Ruben. 100% with you. Gets me every time when Cap says, Hail Hydra. Oh my God. Wasn't that so funny? Literally walks on the... And I guarantee you, that's why they did that. So in the movie, they did a lot of time traveling, which is cool, because the movies have been around for 10 years. Mm-hmm. And so they went back to 2012, 2014, 2015. I don't remember what all the years they went back to now. So in one of them, they went back to the Avengers movie, which was when the first time the whole group of them assembled. And in the movie after that, Civil War, there's a scene where Captain America gets on the elevator with all the guys. And he thought they were his friends. But they were really the bad guys. And so the bad guys have this organization called Hydra. And their little motto is, Hail Hydra. So when he gets on the elevator in this one, so he went back in time to before the elevator scene where he got into the fight with all the guys. He got on the elevator in Civil War, and there was a bunch of bad guys. He thought they were good guys, and it turned into a giant fight, all right? So now he's back in time to 2012 before this happens, and it's like, oh, this is reminiscent of the elevator scene. And now he's having to try to take something from the guys, and they're like, yeah, no, we're not giving this to you. We're taking it to the director or whatever. And he's like, oh, no, I got this. Hail Hydra. And they're like, cool. Oh. We're on the right page. So it was way before all that was revealed to us later, but it was funny that he said that, and next thing you know, you see him walking out with what it was he went for. Instead of there being a big fight scene. It was awesome. I don't get the gauntlet. Okay, Thanos has one. Okay, Tony made one, or did he make two? They look different. Hulk wore a gauntlet, Thanos wore the gauntlet, and Tony wore the gauntlet. So there's 3 gauntlets. The Thanos gauntlet, the Hulk gauntlet, and Tony's gauntlet. There's 3 gauntlets. I saw Tony make a red glove gauntlet. Yes, he did. But I see the different, like, gray on the sides. Did he make 2? He only made 1, because see, Hulk took Thanos's... No, wait a minute. He made 1, which Thanos was going to use, and Hulk was going to use. He made one that Hulk was going to use. Remember, Hulk says they emit gamma radiations, like he said he was made for it. So that was the one that he made. Thanos took it and put it on his hand, and then at the last minute, Tony must have already had the nanosuit programmed for it, because when he snatched the stones off of the gauntlet, they just crawled onto place onto his hand. So it was actually his suit, not the gauntlet. The suit converted through the nanotechnology into a gauntlet. So he made the Hulk gauntlet, which then fit around Thanos' hand when Thanos put on it, and then he snatched the stones from it and put it onto his. So there's actually only 2 gauntlets, but the one gauntlet was Hulk's and Thanos'. Tony never wore that gauntlet. Does your daughter have the same love, passion, obsession, or other loves or passion? So when she was younger, she had a bunch of Barbie dolls, and she used to film little videos of them. And I thought that was great. And why don't you do that anymore?
I'm too busy being a housewife, I guess.
Her passion is her husband. She's got a great husband. I can't think of a better guy for her to be with. And she really does a great job taking care of him. And he's very lucky to have her. It's hard to
have him.
What's that?
Lucky to have him.
Oh, yes, you are. It's hard to believe Paul Rudd is... What? All of them are like 50, aren't they? You know what I hated? I hated it that Michael Pena wasn't in there. So Michael Pena is like in the Ant-Man movie. So he did 2 Ant-Man movies. And Michael Pena, he's a comedian. And he plays this scene where he just tells this story. You ever met one of those people that just tells you the entire story of what they were doing? You know, I got up this morning, I put my foot in my flip-flops, I walked down to the hallway and made a little coffee, and the coffee was dripping, the coffee, and I'm watching the coffee drip, and I go, that's how he is. And he just goes on and on and on and tells these huge, long-ass stories. It's so funny when he's telling these stories. And he wasn't in the last movie, and I was really disappointed about that. The big joke was, because his last movie is 3 hours long, they said the reason it's 3 hours long because Michael Pena has to tell his little story. So he wasn't in it, and it really bothered me. If you look at the pictures for the Mark 7 diecast, there's Tony with his mask up like Iron Patriot, but he has light up eyes. Really? Robert Downey Jr. I think he's 53 or 54 also. His birthday is in April. He's an Aries, by the way. Robert Downey Jr. is. If you are a Iron Man fan and collect Hot Toys, you can't choose between Mark 7 or Mark 5 or Mark 7. You need 1 through 7. You know, that's... So somebody asked on Facebook the other day, because people ask that all the time, you know, what figure should I buy? And the first thing, the answer is, buy what you want. Because you can't buy what I tell you to buy. I can tell you what I like of the ones I own, but you have to be the one to love it. You know, it's difficult when you get a figure and you have absolutely no passion for it, and you're like, what am I doing with this? I shouldn't have got this. I need to get rid of it. So then you've got something that you resent that you even own, because you bought it because somebody else told you to get it. But at the same token, this guy asked the other day about a Captain America, about the concept art Captain America. And he says he's a huge Captain America fan. Huge. He used the word huge. Mm-hmm. So huge is like huge. Yeah. You're not just a fan.
You love it.
You're a huge fan. And my response to him literally was, if you're a huge fan, then that's not even a question. That's like a requirement. The black Captain America there carrying 2 shields right in the middle of those 5 guys. Yeah, you want to grab him?
Sure.
This guy, in my opinion, is an absolute requirement if you're a Captain America fan. No doubt about it. He's not a screen scene. He's a Ryan Meanderding concept art, which is the one that did all the artwork for the movies. But, I mean, if you're a huge Captain America fan, which is what he said, this is the one to get, in addition to all the other Captain Americas. But just like you were saying, if you're an Iron Man fan, 1 through 7 are almost a requirement. And so like they've done all the die casts except for Mark 1. Mark 7's coming. They haven't done a Mark 1. They've done the Mark 1 twice. The second one is definitely the one to get out of those. But when they announced they were going to first start doing the die-cast figures in 2015, the first one they said they were going to do was going to be the Mark 17 Heartbreaker, and Mark 17 Heartbreaker was never made as die-cast. So they first made the first announcement that they were making die-cast figures before the Mark 17 was released, and that was supposed to be the very first die-cast figure, which never happened. Like I said, the first one was either the War Machine or Mark 3. I don't remember which one it was, but they never made the Mark 1. But they specifically stated that their purpose was to make all the original 7s as die-casts, no matter what. And my opinion is, because they quit making all these, there's a whole bunch of them that aren't there. You know, this should be full of 50 armors here. You know, that would be a sight. But there's just a lot of gaps. So that's number 15, and that's number 20. There's 4 suits that aren't there. They never made them.
Right.
And so my opinion that they didn't do that was because they're making the die-cast ones. And they're going to use the figures from the Mark 7 to make these, because most of the ones that are in there that are missing require require the Mark 7 suits in order to be able to fabricate them. So I think they haven't made any more because they're probably going to make them after the Mark 7 comes out. But you have to get the original 7 if you're a true Iron Man fan, in my opinion, because that's the garage. You know, you guys know the garage up there, right? You can see it.
Tilt it up. Ah.
Right there. That's your original Hall of Armor. That's the Mark 7. I mean, that's the 7 of them. That's your original Hall of Armor. You have to have. That's like the garage. You have to have that if you're a true Iron Man fan. You don't have to do all the others. You don't got to collect them all. You don't have to be a maniac like me. 7's enough, though. You have to have the first 7. And 5 and 7, you know, gosh, that's just tough. You can't go wrong with 7, but you'll regret not getting the 5. I'll tell you that much. That's a fact. One size fits all. They need a comedy of Avengers, Michael Pena, Korg, Meek, etc. That'd be too cool. Korg is like this big rock. That's probably the best way to describe him. But he seems to have just this very kind, very innocent mannerism about him.
Gentle giant.
Yeah, but he's obviously a serious warrior because they met him on the planet where they had these battles to the death, and he survived them. So obviously he knows what he's doing. He's no wimp. And it's so funny because in this last movie we see him playing. I think it's probably Fortnite he's playing. So he's on the little game. He's got the headset on, and Thor's hanging out over there. And Korg goes, "Thor, it's Noob Master. You called me a dick again." Thor's like, "Give me the headset. Hey, I will come to your house, get into your basement, and kick your ass." So funny. He goes, "Thank you, Thor. Thank you for straightening him out." So intimidated by somebody named Noob Master. Korg is great. And he's got this little guy named Meek that hangs out with him all the time, who looks like a giant larva. About that big. It's crazy. I think MCU movies are going to suck. I think the main guys are gone. The only one want to see Spidey, Black Panther, X-Men, Fantastic Four. Probably won't see X-Men or Fantastic Four in 6 years. I think you're probably right. But Falcon's head on concept cap. See how it looks. Interesting. Got 2 of them, Captain. Mark 1 diecast should be awesome once Hot Toys eventually releases it. Yeah, because like with the first Mark 1 that they made, when they re-released it as a Mark II, it is, or as the Mark 1 2.0, it is far improved. It's the suit that he made like in a cave with scrap pieces of missiles and all that. He turned it into an Iron Man suit. It's extremely fragile. I don't touch it at all. This stays right there where it is because it's so fragile. I'm hoping that the diecast version will not be, but it's cool. There was what scene was that? What movie was it? When I think it was Iron Man 2, when Obadiah was telling the engineers there at Stark that they needed to make a suit, and he's like trying to get the arc reactor or whatever it was. He's like, Tony Stark built one of these in a cave, and here's all these geniuses, and you guys can't build this. And they're like, yeah, we're not Tony Stark, though. Oh. Tony Stark built this in a cave with scrap pieces of metal. We're not Tony Stark, though. Infinity War looks great. Beautiful Iron Man setup. Siri Emerald, thank you. CSI Grissom, your knowledge on Hot Toys is exceptional, and that's why I've been sub to you. Gotta head out. See ya. And your daughter, have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Thank you. Because they are unique. They are. The Infinity War and the concept art ones are definitely unique. Denobi 2 put Falcon's head on concept cap's body. It looks good. I believe that. So, at the end of the movie, so the guy over here with the wings, that's Falcon. He's, what was he? What was his rank? Was he a lieutenant? He was some sort of pilot. So when he met him, so when Captain America met Sam, it was in a like a PTSD or injured veterans, you know, dealing with things, and he was hosting the little chat, and Cap was there to, you know, just talk to him or whatever, and he said, "So what do you do?" And he says, "I'm a pilot." So he's thinking, you know, flying planes. So then he sees these wings. He goes, "I thought you said you flew planes." He goes, "I never said I flew planes." I'm a pilot. So they end up becoming best friends. And so at the end of the last movie, when Cap retires being Captain America, he hands the shield to Sam, his buddy Falcon. So Sam is now taking up the mantle of Captain America. By the way, Joe Russo, who was the director of Endgame and many of the other movies, tweeted on Facebook or Instagram or someplace a picture of all the youngins from this last movie. Cassie and Morgan and the Shambo's daughter and all the other ones, I forget now, all the kids. And he literally put the Young Adventures. So I don't know if that's a prequel or a sneak peek or a tease or just something that he was just throwing together. That may be the way going. And also, I don't know if you noticed or not, at the memorial scene where all the people were gathered to, wish Iron Man on his way, the kid from Iron Man 3, the garage kid, was there. So he was obviously part of the Stark program that Peter Parker was part of. He may be the next Iron Man. Kind of looking like future Cap. Does your daughter know Rocket? She's got to love Rocket. This is Rocket. So the Guardians of the Galaxy are space travelers. And this guy right here,
I've seen him.
He's great. Rocket Raccoon. And Thor calls him Rabbit. Come with me, Rabbit. And it's so damn funny.
Oh, with his whiskers.
But what he does is he will steal body parts from people, like if they have an artificial anything, just for kicks and giggles, for no reason whatsoever. He's like, okay, this is what we need to do to get out of here. I need you to go get a blaster. I need to get you some rope, get some chain, get a metal detector, and go get that arm off of that guy over there. What are we gonna do with the arm? Well, we don't need it for anything. I just think it's gonna be so funny when he wakes up tomorrow and his arm is gone. That's what. And like in another scene, he's like, he's asking for duct tape. They're trying to duct tape a bomb that he's built. He's like he loves guns. He's always got these bombs. He's capable of building bombs from scraps. He's like asking for duct tape. And the guy that they consider the captain of the Guardians of the Galaxy says, "You have everything in your backpack to build like a nuclear weapon. You don't have duct tape." He's crazy. Rocket is crazy.
I'm gonna have to watch these movies.
22 of them. You got a lot of catching up to do. 44 hours
watch a lot of
plus.
movies.
44 hours plus. And the new ones that are coming out. There's one coming out next month. It's going to be behind the times. So what do you do? What do you do other than make balloon animals? What do you do? What was that? That was that an Endgame? Was that Tony that said that to him? Doctor Strange? That was so funny. So, Doctor Strange is the master of the mystical arts. And so he could manipulate time and space and all sorts of neat things. And so Tony had never met him. And so Tony thinks he's the big cheese. Mm-hmm. And he's always testing himself against the other people. So when he met Doctor Strange, the Hulk showed up. And the Hulk had a problem becoming the Hulk. So he was stuck as Bruce Banner. He couldn't get angry enough to become the Hulk.
Yeah.
So Tony turned to him and he's like, you're embarrassing me here in front of the wizard. I need you to become the Hulk and you can't do it.
Oh.
So when Peter Parker met him, the guy's name is Stephen Strange. His last name is Strange. He bumped into another bad guy. I forget his name. And he says, the bad guy says to him, he was also a master of the mystical arts, he says to him, and your name is Mr. And he says, Doctor. This is a doctor. He's a surgeon in real life. Oh, okay. In the movie, in the show, he's a surgeon who became a master of mystical arts. So he's a proficient, expert surgeon. Doctor. So your name, Mr. And he goes, Doctor. He goes, Mr. Doctor. He goes, no, Strange. He goes, yeah, it's strange, but who am I to judge? So there's always a joke about his name being Doctor Strange. His name is Stephen Strange, Doctor Strange. So when Peter meets him, Peter Parker meets Doctor Strange for the first time, and Peter, he's a young kid, and he's always just thinking he's just really, his brain's just going on. He's super intelligent. His brain's just going really fast, and he's talking to Doctor Strange, and he says, oh, by the way, I'm Peter Parker. And Stephen Strange says, Doctor Strange. Peter says, oh, we're using our made-up names then.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So that's so funny. They're always giving Doctor Strange a hard time. And he's one, you know, so it's debatable who the most powerful Avenger is, or any of the superheroes. Doctor Strange is definitely up there. There's a scene in his movie where he has to fight this really bad guy. His name Dormammu, I think is who it was. And he literally just keeps reversing time. So he goes and sees Dormammu out in the middle of the universe someplace, and Dormammu kills him. And then he comes back to life, and he kills him again, and kills him again, kills him again. And they don't tell you how long this has been going on, but it could have been going on for 1,000 years. That's how he is. He's just capable of manipulating time like that. So Doctor Strange can do pretty much anything like that. Hulk and Thor are super strong. Captain Marvel is extremely powerful. She literally just flies right through a spaceship and just disintegrates it. She can just do that. But out of all of them, Scarlet Witch, in my opinion, is hands down the absolute most powerful Avenger. I think she can whip anybody. We watched her take Ultron's heart out of his chest and show it to him. And at the end of the movie, in this last one, so she showed up. All right, so all the suits. All right, let's back up. So Tony Stark has a house that had artificial intelligence, what he called Jarvis, and Jarvis did things for him, took care of the house, and it was just a computer. It's like having Siri you're speaking to. So that's how Jarvis kind of started. It was actually named after a butler he was raised by when he was growing up. So that was his Jarvis, and he would tell Jarvis, do this, Jarvis set this appointment, Jarvis do this, Jarvis do that. So then Jarvis, through interactions with Thanos's Ultron computer software, became Vision with the Mind Stone, which is that guy. All right, with the green guy with the red face.
Okay.
So they became lovers. All right.
Yes.
So when Thanos decided he wanted the Mind Stone back, he snatched it right out of which killed him, right in front of her. So that just totally torqued her off.
I don't think she was too happy after that.
No. So that was the movie last year. So this year, now Thanos has time traveled backwards. This hasn't happened yet in Thanos' existence. He doesn't know this has happened. He's never met Scarlet Witch. So he's there, and Scarlet Witch shows up, and she's pissed off. The Vision that was created by the Ultron software, whatever, also made the Ultron robot, which you can see that silver one there in the other room, the top one there.
Yeah.
So Ultron killed her brother, Quicksilver. So Ultron, which was manufactured by Thanos, killed her brother. Thanos killed her lover. So she shows up at Thanos, 2012 Thanos, which is before all of this happened, and she says, "You've taken away from me everything that I love." Thanos looks at her, very matter-of-factly says, "I don't even know who you are." She's like, "Oh, you will." Yeah. And she just goes like this, pulls up these giant, huge boulders out of the earth, and they're just glowing red. It's like, oh, she's fixing to pull the moon down on him or something. She lifts him up and is like disintegrating him. She is taking him apart molecularly. She's dissolving him down to the atoms.
Wow.
And Thanos is like, rain fire. And his troops are like, "You want the ships to shoot us?" And he's like, "Yeah, he's dying." He's like, "Rain fire." And they're like, "But the troops!" And that's the only way that she kept from killing him. She was going to rip him apart. She was going to pull his heart out and show it to him. He killed her brother and her lover. That dude was in trouble. That's obviously, in my opinion, the single most powerful Avenger superhero, Scarlet Witch. I think she could take Doctor Strange in a second. I think she could totally take Doctor Strange. No doubt about it. Where we at? Rick, going to get lunch. Thank you very much. Take a dog for a walk. Have a good one, Rich. You too, Robert. Bye. She should just watch the clip, though, right? First Iron Man, Cap, first Avenger, the Avengers, Civil War. I know, right? Hey, sorry I missed the last 15 minutes of stream. What is the better value, Mark 7 diecast or the Mark 50 diecast plus accessories? Well, here's the problem The Mark 50 is specific to one movie, the Infinity War movie. And it comes with a lot of neat features. You got the shield, the accessories, you get like the claws and these weird things. But one thing that you're really missing, though, is the side shots. So he has in the movie these pieces of him that just come out like vents, and they shoot his I forget what it is he's shooting out, his energy beams. They come shooting out of it, and it's not in any of the figures. But you should get the big shield. Whereas the Mark 7 it's the Mark 7. I mean, it's like saying, do you get a 1967 Camaro or a 2010 Camaro? You know what I mean? The 1967 Camaro is a 1967 Camaro. It will always be a 1967 Camaro, and you have something that's rare and unique, and it's a staple to the Camaro heritage. 2010 Camaro is cool. There's a million of them on the road. Well, maybe not a million. There's a bunch of them on the road. Everybody and their brother has one, or you know somebody that has one, but not everybody has a Mark as a 1967. And that's kind of where it is, in my opinion, with the Mark 7 versus the Mark 50. If you love the Mark 50, you're not going to go wrong getting it. If you have no passion for the Mark 7, if you don't know the Mark 7, if you don't have any connection to the Mark 7, then you'll be wasting your money and you should get the Mark 50. But if you're familiar with both of them, definitely the Mark 7 or the Mark 50. That's an answer that goes beyond anything. The Mark 7 is the classic armor. The Mark 50 is not, more or less, the classic armor. So that's my opinion on that. The Mark 50 is nice. You know, that's the one where he with the Doctor Strange, just taps it on and we see it form on him for the first time. So all the other suits he has to get into, one way or the other. Either they attach to him or he has to actually physically get put into the suit. But the Mark 50 is the first one where all you see is just this chest piece, and it just goes and it grows on him through nanotechnology, these little bitty nano robots that create the suit all the way around his entire body. So that's cool. That's the first one we've seen on that. And we really still don't have an answer what the Mark 49 is. So we have the Mark 47, which is that red and silver one up there. Yeah, and then we have the Mark 50. And so there's two that are missing. Someplace this came, whether it's the 48 or the 49. And then we have the rescue suit, which now says 49 on it, but I have a hard time believing that's 49 because it's 5 years after this, and I have a hard time believing that suit's been there for that long. Yeah. So I think it's the 49 suit. But we have this conundrum or this perplexity of what the 48 and 49 are that we haven't been told. And it may never actually truthfully ever be answered. Gotcha, thanks. Disappointing that the Mark 85 didn't have a scene like that. I know, right? It was kind of like just kind of rushed into it all, wasn't it? But the 85 definitely has the gauntlet, which is the neatest thing. Mark 50's got more accessories. Mark 85 has the gauntlet. I mean, that's it. The Mark 85 is the suit, in my opinion, because of the importance of what happens at the end of the movie with that suit. So you have to get the Mark 85. You have to have the Mark 7, the first 7, and you have to have the Mark 85. All the others are fluff. You know, you can throw a 42 and a 43 in there, Hulkbuster or the Prodigal Son. You know, you can throw some of the other neat ones in there. But if you're going to have the quintessential Iron Man collection, you have to have the first 7, and you have to have the Mark 85. It's the Alpha and the Omega. You know, it's the beginning and the end. It's the whole story right there. And then, you know, in between are a whole bunch of other suits that add in there, and you can get the ones that you want. But you have to have those. Now, if you're a Spider-Man fan, you have to have the Mark 47. If you're a Captain America fan, you have to have the Mark 46. You know, some of them are necessary, some of them are not. That's how that goes. 100%. Someone takes you up on your offer to be cool to see, but I know, right? What the hell? He lives just right down the street too. I'm gonna kick his ass. He won't. I've told him to go. Let's go to the movies. I'm gonna have a talk with him. I want to go to the movies. Any plans for Comic-Con? No. I do not have any plans for Comic-Con. I'm too busy to go to Comic-Con. I mean, I would love to go to San Diego Comic-Con, but in order to get to San Diego Comic-Con, you have to like know somebody. Somebody has to die and like will you their ticket.
Really?
It's almost that bad.
I
So
can see that.
the only way you can get a San Diego Comic-Con ticket is if you've already been to San Diego Comic-Con, and then they'll give it to you. And then like I guess there's a lottery on like the one day that they initiate selling of the tickets. They sell out like within an hour or something like that. And San Diego Comic Con is the big show. That's where all the toys are shown. So somebody has to die and you get willed the ticket. It's the only way you get into the San Diego Comic Con, it seems. Then there's Toy Fair up in New York, and there's all these other Comic Cons, but nothing really compares to San Diego Comic Con. What's up, Nick? How you doing, man? I'm not a collector, so I can only afford one at a moment. Hey, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Which way are you leaning? You were asking about the Iron Mans. What's your favorite movie? That's probably where you should start. Someone has to die, right? With that in mind, what's the best buy? Best buy for, well, again, I ask you, what is your favorite movie? Have you seen all the movies, first off? Have you seen all the movies, Patriot? I went when I was stationed at Camp Pendleton in San Diego. I think it was 2000. Oh, well, things are different then. You could probably go right up to the door in 2000 and get a ticket for the San Diego Comic Con. It wasn't as huge as it was back then as it is now. Now, shoot. Everybody and their brother goes there. All the actors are there. Anybody is there. Obviously, I'm not anybody. Otherwise, I'd be there. So what was your favorite one, Patriots? Which movie did you enjoy the best? I have to say Thor Ragnarok is my favorite. I have to say that totally.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. So Thor finds out he has a sister who's Kate Blanchett plays his sister. She does an amazing job. She's the goddess of death.
Ooh.
And Thor is the god of lightning. So she's come to more or less reclaim her rule over Asgard, which is the world that they rule over in Norse mythology. And Thor's not too pleased about that. And so she's fighting him, and he strikes him with a sword, knocks his eye out, so he ends up losing his eye. And she's like got him all bent over and about ready to kill him. And she's telling him, she says, "Remind me again, brother, what you are the god of." She's the goddess of death.
Yeah.
And she's about to kill him. So he has this mind moment where he goes and visits his dad, and who had passed away, and they're meeting in the field, whatever, and he says, I'm not having a good time right now. I met Hela, and I'm getting my ass kicked, and I lost my eye. I lost my hammer. She destroyed my hammer, and I'm not doing too good. His dad says, "I gave you that hammer, Mjolnir, not because you needed it for the power, but because you needed to know that you have the power in you. The hammer really doesn't have the power. You have the power." So Thor got motivated by that, and he came back, and you see him back on the banister. He's about totally get toasted, and she repeats herself again. "So tell me again, brother, what are you the god of?" And then you see a giant lightning bolt come out of the sky and totally strikes her. I mean, this lightning bolt's 3 times the size of her.
Yeah.
Totally strikes her. He comes out of there. Led Zeppelin comes on. The Immigrant Song from Led Zeppelin comes on, and it's just totally kick-ass. He's out there just kicking everybody's ass because he's got his power, and he's shooting lightning everywhere. He's just zapping people with lightning. And he bumps into his brother Loki, who's out there, who is the god of mischief. And Loki sees Hela, and she's coming, and Loki's like, "Dude, just shoot her with lightning." He's like, "I just hit her with the mother of all lightning bolts," and then just shook right off her like nothing. So Thor Ragnarok is definitely my favorite movie. So comedic, it's not even funny. I've seen all, but I don't know. Infinity War stood out as the best movie. Well, there you go. That's the Mark 50. 2001. I remember there was remaking Time Machines at the time. The what was that movie? You're talking about? I know what I'm talking about. I think I'm going with Mark 50 and accessories. Yep, because that one can become a number of different poses with accessories. Exactly, especially because you said you really enjoy the Infinity War. So I agree. It's pricey, but it is pricey, but it's a die-cast figure, and it comes with all the accessories. So $600, I think, when you get the accessories. $650. But it's the only one. But yeah, you said if you're only getting one, that would be the best for an Iron Man fan like me. Plus, did you cry when Iron Man died? Dude, I walked out of that movie, my entire face was sopping wet.
Aww.
I cried in that movie like 6 times. But when Iron Man died, the waterworks was totally on. I was crying like a baby. I cried when Scarlet Witch says, "You've killed everyone that I've loved." I don't even know who you are. Sure, you will. That's when the tears started coming too. I was like, she's gonna fuck you up. What the heck Odin die from? What did Odin die from? See, you know what? I don't know what Odin died from. Broken heart? Because his wife died? Think that could have been it? Patriot, you should get Iron Man from your favorite movie. I agree. So Infinity War said he really gets with. Have a good day, you two, man. I saw Batman dead in Comic Con. Due to Endgame, there are going to be some good unveiling of figures at SDCC 2019. Try not to jump the gun and PO before, unless the wall look forward it. Great time to be like nothing at the last San Diego Comic Con. Every year at San Diego Comic Con, they have a figure that they release, an important figure. Like 2 years ago, it was that guy. No, it was that guy and that guy were the figures. And then before that, it was, I think it was him. And then before that, it was him. So all these suits, him, were San Diego Comic Con exclusives. And last year, I don't remember there being a single San Diego Comic Con exclusive suit. It's like, I don't think there's anything. Maybe an Anakin Skywalker, I think was what it was. And I don't, that's my whole Star Wars shelf, which is just the droids.
Right.
And the only reason I have Rey there is because she came with the little round orange guy. The only way you could get the orange guy at the time is you had to buy her.
Oh.
So I have her. Otherwise, I wouldn't even have her. But then I customized her. I took her body and disassembled it and put her into a Fison body because she's got knees and elbows, and she should have knees and elbows and shoulders. And the Hot Toys figures, she had joints in her knees and elbows and shoulders, so I changed her body out. So it's the Fison body. But I have no passion for her. I would sell her in a heartbeat, not even bat an eye. Easily. For fact. So if you want a Rey, you let me know. It's on her way.
I've got to get going.
All right. What's next up for you, collection-wise, movie-wise? I'm so happy that you stopped in, and thanks for the battery.
Oh, you're welcome.
You want to say hi to your mom before you take off? What you doing?
I shall. I have got to go take a shower because we're going out to lunch today. So.
Well, that's right. We are, aren't we?
I just got back from a hike, and when I was watching the videos and.
Sweet. Well, I'm so glad to have you.
Thank you.
Welcome to the family, right?
Thank you. I don't know anything about this, but it's kind of interesting. I might want to watch all the movies now.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun. Except I just ruined them all for you.
That's okay. This was fun. Thank you.
Love you.
All right, love you too. Bye.
Bye. Great time to be a collector. It is a great time to be a collector. Sure is. What's next up for you, Siri, collection-wise or movie-wise? So, the other figures that I got this last week is I've got the Venom made by Bullethead came to me, and we need to get that unboxed. I'll probably do that next week. And, of course, I've got Thanos supposedly coming someday. I haven't paid for it yet because I haven't been told that it's here. I've got the Mark 50 coming supposedly one day. I haven't paid for it yet because I haven't told it it's here yet. So I got those guys coming. And I got in the mail this last week the Crossbones. So this was made by, I don't remember, was it Toys Era? It's called an AI doll is what it is. And it's Crossbones from the Civil War. So I've got this to unbox too. So that's what I've got going on. I'm trying to create like a ultimate Deadpool collection. I would love to like have every Deadpool from every universe that Deadpool has ever been in. So like the Jurassic Deadpool and the Samurai Deadpool and the Night Deadpool and all the Deadpools. So that's like obviously a goal of mine is to just make like every single Deadpool that there is. Every Deadpool would be like the ultimate collection. So that's where I am. And I got the Kid Pool that I'm still working on. Need to do some more work on him. I've been customizing this figure. So if you remember, this started off as a bust from this collection here was the Gentle Giants collection of Deadpool busts. It came with the squirrel and the dog pool and a head pool and a Kid Pool bust. And I turned it into this little figure here. So I'm working on a kid pool. Got that going on. And that's pretty much it, I guess. That's kind of what I got really going on, actually. I'm tempted to see Pokemon Pikachu. Looks too damn cute. Sean Long said it was really a good movie, Detective Pikachu or whatever it was. And yeah, I'm actually want to go see it too. Have a good one, daughter. Be well. And waves by. Yep, that was really nice. Really happy to see her. I didn't expect her. That was cool. That was cool. It's nice to have a good family, right? Family takes care of each other. True family does. So what you guys think? Okay, any movie you want to see? Any movie you want to see? I want to see the Detective Pikachu, and I definitely want to go see Endgame again. And I can't wait for Spider-Man Homecoming next month. That's going to be awesome because I've been a Spider-Man fan forever. So I was originally a Spider-Man fan. Spider-Man was my guy. So needless to say, Superman and Batman are Superman and Batman. You can't go wrong with Superman and Batman. They're always Superman and Batman. They'll always be Superman and Batman. And I think everybody probably has a Superman and a Batman story. You know what I mean? There's probably some point in your life, somewhere, that you were reading a Superman comic or a Batman comic or seeing a Superman movie or a Batman movie or a television show or something. All of us, I think, have Superman and Batman somewhere in our life. I have a hard time believing that there's anybody out there that truthfully does not have a Superman Batman story or are familiar with them in some degree. So Superman and Batman are there, but Spider-Man was my guy. Spider-Man was the one that I totally related to. And I'm so stoked that Tom Holland is playing Spider-Man again. I was really enjoyed the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man stories. I really enjoyed them a lot. And I never really cared for the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man stories. They just didn't feel genuine to me. If you could call a comic book story genuine, it seems weird to even say, but they just didn't feel genuine to me. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to Spider-Man. I love that Into the Spider-Verse. That was cool. I want to get all those Spider-Mans too. I got the ones on order that have been there. But it's the Advanced Spider-Man suit and the Punk Spider-Man suit. My Batman collection is 66, 89, Nolan, then I stopped. Yeah, because I don't know what happened with Ben Affleck, why he didn't turn into a good Batman. I would have thought he would have been perfect for it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the DC Extended Universe, I've only seen, I have to truthfully say, of the DC Extended Universe, I've only seen Aquaman. I hate to say it, but that's the absolute truth. The only movie that I've seen was Aquaman. And I just didn't have any interest in seeing the others. So I've heard that they were not that great, but I can't tell you from my own personal experience because I don't know. So I can't give you a truthful opinion. It wouldn't be fair to say one way or the other what the case is of that because I've not seen them. And it's not right for me to judge a movie that I've not seen. This is weird how this came. It actually came unfolded instead of folded together. Isn't that interesting? I've not seen them do that before. I'm very happy with this Mark 40, whatever it is, Hulkbuster 2. He's really like a Hulk continuation. He's the Hulk when he wasn't the Hulk. If that makes any sense whatsoever. Siri, do you have any hot DC figures? You know which one I want and I should have gotten, I haven't gotten it, I need to track down, is Deathstroke. That would be my first Hot Toy DC figure. I don't think I have any others. I figure awesome fight scene, but I don't care for his killing. Talk about you talking about Ben Affleck? Yeah, might pick up Arkham figures, even though basically statues. And you know, it gets to that point. It's kind of like this guy. You know, he's really the Hulkbuster too here. He really is kind of a statue, but you know, it sometimes gets to that point where you don't do any posing with your figure. So sometimes I guess a statue is okay in that manner. It's telling a story, right? You're still staying along the same guide as that in that manner. You know what I'm saying? I really enjoy spending time with you guys. I like showing off my figures, talking about anything I want to talk about. Some of these figures never get touched until you guys ask me to show them to you. They just sit up there and gather dust. And then I get to bring them down and be reminded about how awesome they really are, and how beautiful the paint apps are on it, and how well crafted it is, and how I need to dust my figures. And scenes from a movie that will come to my mind. That's what makes it fun. So what else you guys got in mind? Anything else coming to you right now that you got going on? I'm just kind of putting my figures up. I'm going to take these Dursos out of here. I love my daughter. She's such a good young woman. She brought me batteries. She brought me batteries for my toy. She wanted to see my toy light up. She joined the channel this morning. Hope you guys enjoyed her being here. As you can tell, she's not a big nerd. She's not a big geek like me. She takes after her mom in that regards. Doesn't change anything though, right? She's awesome. Besides Hot Toys, anything else might want to get? Kind of getting Masterpiece Primes, and still like to get those NECA Turtles. You know, it's funny. I love the Turtles, but I have to really be careful with what it is that I collect. I just don't have the room for anything anymore. You know what I mean? So yeah, the Turtles look great, and they're fun, and but I just don't have the room for Turtles. You know, which is terrible. I would love to have the Turtles. I would love to have the Star Wars figures. I'd love to have the Predator figures. Truthfully, those look awesome. But no, I collect Fisons. Got Lady Death and Vampirella over there. Anybody that makes anything that Hot Toys didn't make, like Lady Katana, Cable, and Steel, you know, those aren't Hot Toy figures. I've got Velma and what's her name from Scooby-Doo, Daphne, right here. Those are kit bashes. Got a Nier Automata down there, the kit bash. I've got my kit bashed Johann, whatever his name is, the Red Skull, in his Nazi uniform. Not because I think Nazis are cool, but because he's a bad guy and is the ultimate bad guy. So, kit bashed him. No, Nazis were fucked up people. Or their leader was. And people seem to follow sometimes without thinking. Like I said, Men in Black, when Will Smith asked Tommy, the character, you know, why don't you tell people about the aliens here on Earth? He said, people can take it. And he goes, no, people are stupid. A person can take it, but people cannot. People are stupid. A person can be smart. A person can look at something logically or deductively and make a decision that's to the best ability. But a group of people, a mob, thought process go right out the window. Mob mentality. Kind of getting messages from I feel you should talk about kit bashes next time. I'm always curious on different types of bodies, posability, head sculpt, etc. Vice of bodies, skinny, regular muscles, etc. There's been a couple other companies out there, Jidal, that makes these really cool looking bodies. I'm curious how they are. Currently, though, where I'm at, with just the Hot Toys Marvel Cinematic Universe figures, I just don't have the money to be spending on anything outside of that. I've got so many figures coming. It's not even funny. I've got a ton of figures. My kit bash I'm really working on is my kid pool. I've got to do something with his neck and that suit. I got to figure out a way to fix that suit. It's just not right for some reason. And the head needs to be just a little bit darker. I can put some wash on it or something to make the head darker. But then I'm really pleased with it. Really pleased with it. Totally how it turned out. But next week we'll probably open Venom. How's that sound? We'll do the bullet head Venom. I believe I do. I think there's a collection obsession. I think there's a couple of them that I don't have, only because they're like duplicate figures. So like I don't have the original Mark III that came out because I have Mark IIIs, and I don't have the Rose Hill Tony, and I don't have the Tony where he was working in the garage. I think it's called the Mechanic Tony. I don't have that. And there's like a Mark VI that I don't have because it was really like an unaccessoried one or a limited edition one. And I think there's a Mark VII that I passed on because I already had a Mark VII. So like if I have a Mark VII that tells the story, I didn't feel I needed the other Mark VII. But now the die cast is coming out, which has different accessories and different options. I do need that. I didn't feel it was necessary to get the other Mark VII. It actually had less features. I think it was the Battle Damage Mark VII. I forget what it was. But I'm pretty sure I have all the Iron Mans that have been released, except for those that I just talked about. And there's a lot of the Marvel Cinematic Universe that I don't have. I don't have, the older Caps and the older Black Widows. I don't have the other Falcon. So a lot of the Avengers I don't have. I only have just the one Hawkeye. No, I have two Hawkeyes. But I only have one Loki. I have a Loki and a Kit Bash Loki that I have dressed up in the suit and scarf when he had the staff when he went to Germany to get the Tesseract or whatever it was he was getting. I forget now. But there's a lot of them I don't have as far as the MCU goes. But I think I've got just about every single Iron Man made. So like for instance, I've got the Subarctic or Sub-Zero, whatever it's called, and the Stealth. I don't have the chocolate and the white chocolate, but there's no difference. You know what I mean? It was just the base. No difference whatsoever in the suit. I don't have the original Spider-Mans for Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. I want those. Yeah, that's pretty much it as far as that goes. Siri, since you are a big fan, do you also purchase the movies? I mean, physically, not in digital format. I do, as I like to share the figures in action with my daughter, who is 4. Oh, that's awesome, Ruben. I used to buy the movies in the physical format. So I have Iron Mans, I have the Spider-Mans, and I think that's where I stopped, was Iron Man 2 or 3. I forget which one it was. And now I just buy them all on digital because it's so much easier just to pull them up on the computer, do the research that I'm doing in regards to finding out what was where. Like going over Iron Man 3 to determine what suit that was, truthfully, at the end of Iron Man 3, to be able to freeze it and zoom in on it and capture a screen cap and zoom in on it to determine that it's truthfully the Mark 8 and not the Mark 9 in that scene. Because of that, it's just easier to do it with the digital means. And then, of course, with the digital means, you can watch it on any format, anytime you want, anywhere. So I just buy the Voodoo movies and go that direction. So guys, what you think? Anything else on your mind today? Really appreciate you coming by, spending the morning with me. I forgot little baby Groot was hanging on him right there. Little baby Groot. Baby Groot was so cute. Teenage Groot, I don't like him. I don't like old Groot. But teenage Groot, I'm not a fan of. That seems to be the Groot that we get right now, is teenage Groot. So baby Groot doesn't want to stay in place. What's wrong with him? Maybe. No, that's the side he goes on. Let's try something. I may have to put some sticky or something there. Keep him in place. He doesn't want to hang out. Always enjoy the sat down time. No angry work, traffic, or people. Right? That's true. Which makes life a lot easier. More enjoyable. Oh, evidently, Sean Gunn's character from Guardians of the Galaxy. Remember, he was Yondu's like second in command or whatever. It was revealed that he was actually in Endgame there with the Ravagers, and I will have to see if I can spot him. They claim he's got a silver mohawk or something. Because if you remember the last time we've seen him, he was in the process of trying to master the arrow that Yondu was so capable of controlling with his heart. And that's where we left Sean Gunn's character, Kragnar, or whatever his name was, in the series at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. But supposedly, they claim he was in Avengers Endgame when they opened up all the portals. So I'll have to check that out. I need to go watch the movie again just so I can check that out. Definitely will be looking for it on the digital when I have that. I don't know if you guys had heard that or not. But yeah, supposedly he was there. And I'm so happy that James Gunn is back doing Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And it's nice to see that that's how they ended it with Thor on the ship with them, because it's so funny. We're watching Thor and Quill go at it, and Quill's like, "I'm the captain, right?" And Thor's like, "Of course you are. Of course, of course." And the last, of course, was like, "Yeah, you're not the captain. Thor's the captain." That's what it looked like. That's what he was really saying when he's like, "Of course." Like, yeah, no, you're not the captain. So that's gonna be cool. See that interaction again. Star-Lord trying to talk like Thor. "You're mimicking the God-Man. I am not. I always talk like this. You do not. You are mimicking the God-Man." Howard the Duck. Yeah, they said Howard the Duck was there too. I did not see him. You say he was next to Wasp. Cool. I did see Howard the Duck in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 on Nowhere. So, of course, supposedly, they're doing a Howard the Duck movie again. And I don't know much about Howard the Duck. I don't know anything about Howard the Duck, to tell you the truth. So that'll be interesting. See how that goes. I don't know where I'm going to put my Hulkbuster at. He belongs over here. I just don't know. I need to almost just like make a Hulk shelf now. We've got the Ragnarok Hulk. I got my other Hulk with the Avengers Age of Ultron. I need to, that's really kind of my Avengers Hulk. So really, Hulkbuster needs to be up here. To tell you the truth. I need another Bruce Banner, truthfully. I need an older Bruce Banner, because the Bruce Banner they gave us is from, the first movie, Avengers. Siri, what figure has Hot Toys not announced that you would PO in a heartbeat? The rescue suit armor from Pepper Potts. That is a no-brainer. I think anybody that is an Iron Man fan, for fact, is going to jump on the rescue suit. So one or two things are going to happen. Either they're not going to make enough of them, and she's going to become very expensive, or they're going to inundate the market with them, and they're going to be just worthless. So it's a hit or miss at this point with what's going on with rescue. But definitely that one for fact is going to be one that I will be jumping on no matter what. Happy would be another one. I would so need a Happy. Gotta have a Happy. Let's see what else. Always head view or up view. Also, buy the body of the suit? Time suits. So that was what I was thinking about with Captain America and Ant-Man and all that. It's almost like I was thinking, I doubt that they'll make them all. I hope that they do. But you almost could think, well, if I just bought two Tonys, I could have one of them would be a Iron Man, or a Captain America. But you can't like do a Rocket Raccoon or a Hulk. They have to make those. And a Black Widow and a Nebula. So Black Widow, Nebula, Hulk, and Rocket, War Machine. So those are the uniques. So then the ones that are similar are Iron Man, Ant-Man, Hawkeye, and Thor. Thor's Fat Thor, so he would be an overweight suit. Yeah, when I was looking at the Captain America and the Quantum suit, team suit, I was like, all they gotta do is just put a head on this, and you got Captain America. Simple as that. I've seen the old Howard Duck movie like once, way back in the day, and I don't remember anything about it. I really don't. Tony, Steve, Ant-Man, Baby, Nebula. No, I don't think you could put the body on Nebula. She's skinny. She's super skinny. And Tony's not. Tony's thick. So is Cap. Tony, Steve, Ant-Man, Baby, Nebula. Is that Hot Toys Hulkbuster 2? Yes, it is. Wonder if Hot Toys make Old Man Steve. Oh, that's a good question. And my theory on Old Man Steve was that he was there all along. Because we talked about everything. The time travel and whatever else. I have a feeling that Steve had been watching everything play out. I have a feeling that Steve went back in our timeline, back to 1940, whatever it was, married Peggy Carter, and spent the rest of his life watching all the events unfold as they went about him. And I have a feeling he was sitting on that bench before Steve Rogers went back in time. I think he was there all along. I just don't think that they've seen him. That's my opinion on things. That's what I think happened. Kind of like a watcher, you know what I mean? I think that's what was going on. Now, I may not even be close to reality. But that's what I'm telling myself what had happened. That's what I believe, how it went down. But yeah, I love this Hulkbuster too. He's not articulated much. All you have is waist movement and head movement and shoulder movement. But he lights up beautifully, and he's not real heavy, and he's not real expensive. I think you can get one for $400. There's a link in the description below to where you can pick one of these up. And if you're an Iron Man or a Hulk collector, I don't think you can go wrong getting it. If you're a collector of all the suits, it's almost a necessity. But he looks cool. He's going to look good in my collection with the other guys. No doubt about it. He comes with 2 open hands and 2 fists, and the open hands have lights in it. And one set of batteries operates all the lights on him. He's got lights everywhere. Here and here and here and here and here and here, and his eyes. Lights everywhere. We had him lit up earlier. That would mean that Old Man Steve let Bucky be a brainwashed assassin the whole time. Only because he knew that if he messed with the timeline, it wouldn't have made things happen the way that they did. So that's the thing about if you are witnessing what you know is already going to happen, you don't want to be the one that messes up the butterfly effect, like the Sorcerer Supreme told us when she explained to Bruce about removing the stone from the Eye of Agamotto. So Steve had to leave it. Steve had to let Bucky be an assassin. The whole 9 yards, you know? He had to know all of that. It's tough. It's absolutely tough. Hope Hot Toys makes Stone Keeper. Oh, yes. Hey, think about that for a minute. So here's Captain America returning the stones. He had to see the Red Skull again. How do you think that went down? Huh? He had to go see the Red Skull to return the Soul Stone. I bet that was quite an interesting experience for him, to say the least. Guys, I think I'm going to wrap this up. I've had you on the line here for almost 3 hours, 2 hours, 45 minutes. I've enjoyed every second with you guys, and I hope you've enjoyed the time with me. And next week we will definitely open up that Venom. And I haven't heard anything else about anything else coming to me, but I know you guys have gotten the Mark 50s. I know you guys have gotten Thanos's. Both of those I have on pre-order. I've not got my Black Panther yet either. Same thing on pre-order. I know some of you guys have got your Black Panthers. So that's 3 figures right there I could think of that everybody else has that I haven't gotten yet. I missed the Doctor Strange Infinity War Doctor Strange. I wish I hadn't missed that. I just didn't have the money. It came at the wrong time of the year. Didn't have the money to get them. That sucks. So I really regretted not getting that Doctor Strange. So unless you guys got anything else, I'm going to let you guys go. Go get some breathing. My nose is totally clogged up. My eyes are absolutely burning from all the pollen. It's killing me. So thank you very much for sticking in with me. Peggy Carter. Yeah, that'd be cool. Definitely Peggy Carter. And I will see you all later. Thanks very much. Y'all have a good weekend, and see y'all next week. Peace.